before.
I never thought I'd get this close to one.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, you're a Mac fanboy. We thought you existed only on like forums and stuff, or that you were a script bot. We didn't know you really existed.
Oh my God! You mean you guys don't use the Macintosh? Because you don't know what you're missing out on.
Well, what were you doing on the side of the road?
Oh, you see, a little while back I had this little accident. You see, somebody accidentally hit me with their car. And then when I came to, my laptop was gone. It was a PowerBook, and it had all of my work stuff on it. So then I lost my job.
That's terrible.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, yeah. Did it look anything like this?
Oh my God, you found it, that's it. Oh, the logo fell off again. Well, it's a good thing I always keep a spare handy. There we go. That's better.
You do know that's not a Macintosh, right?
Oh my God, what are you talking about? I picked this thing up off of eBay.
Here, hand that to me. I'll show you what's going on. What makes you think this isn't a PC?
Okay. So, take a close look at this, okay? Everybody knows that PCs are just ugly as sin. But you see here with my Mac, everything has got this nice fit and finish to it. You've got this drop shadow along each one of the windows, and it has this really nice brushed metal interface with the gel blue buttons, so everything really comes in focus.
That was nice. What's this at the bottom here?
Okay. You see here's something else. The Macintosh has the dock bar. You see when you move your mouse over the dock bar, everything maximizes and it lets you know that apps on the bottom are really important.
Federline's ass. Nice. That's right, you play a bouncer at a trendy nightclub whose main objective is to keep K-Fed from getting behind the velvet rope. Yeah, Mr. Spears just won't take no for an answer, though. So what choice do you have but to pound his stupid redneck wannabe face?
It's actually pretty good K-Fed
I know, it actually looks really good.
It's not bad.
In the next level, you even get a chance to punch Brittany in the face a few times.
Oh, see, yeah. I've always wanted to. It used to be like the donkey variety, but now I just want to punch her teeth out.
Punch her?
Yeah, like there's nothing good there, especially if the Matt Lauer thing. Like
she was ridiculous. She was so
She was
nasty.
destroyed.
Yeah, you know what? After watching that, I realized that they do belong together.
It's a match made in heaven. It's a trailer park heaven.
But after I watched that, I was thinking, there's two Kevins in my life, K-Fed and K Pereira.
It's true.
Now, if they had a fight, who do you think would win?
I'd take him. Not only, and in fact, and I'll put it out there, not only would I take him in the ring, but I'd take him in the studio. I've proven that already.
Oh, that is true.
So you give me a pair of gloves, he's going down.
But now there's two of them. Now what if Brittany, she looks like a biter. I can see if she jumps in.
That's true.
Yeah.
And she probably has hep, so I want nothing to do with that.
If she drops her baby.
I was going to say, she'll drop her own baby, she'll drop me. So I want nothing to do with Britt. That's where I step out of the ring. Towel thrown in. Finally, we're going to let you decide, folks. Is this a video of a Formula D fan gone mad, or just another guy who refuses to stop and ask for directions? What do you think?
Oh, he's drifting.
Is that?
He is drifting.
But can you drift on a Schwinn?
Yeah, I think you can. I think if you have the passion for drifting, you can drift anything.
Get the old Huffy going sideways.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's riding us, but but drifting is more than circles, guy. What's he doing?
I have no idea what that was there. But it'd be awesome if we could do something like that, like on our show, live, with a real car and smoking tires. That'd be sweet.
No, Kev, that would actually be crazy to me, because, like, what host would actually risk their lives in a stunt like that for the sake of their audience?
Oh, Regis.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
And us,
He's
actually. Good. Damn it. All right, well, man, I hate it when this happens. That actually rounds up our collection of bookmarks for today's Around the Net. Hate it when it ends.
Oh, that was a good one.
But it doesn't have to end for you guys out there. We've seen lots of ass, punched K-Fed in the face, and we drifted our way through today's Around the Net. But you can check it out on attackoftheshow.com. I forgot the name of our show.
It's our website, yes.
Yeah, it is. Attackoftheshow.com for the links to everything we just covered.
But right now, though, it's time to check the feed headlines with a little lady. Her name is Layla Cayley.
Thanks, Kevin. There's so much news today, I might need 2 segments. Here's a sneak peek at what I'll be talking about. First up, is that really a screenshot of Grand Theft Auto 4 that's been popping up all over the internet? Stick with me and we'll figure it out. Plus, they might have just picked an actor to play Captain Kirk in the new Star Trek movie, and you're not going to believe who it is. And finally, don't be jealous. I went to the world premiere of Superman Returns last night, and if you all behave yourselves, I'll show you the exclusive footage. All that and more coming up later on in the feed, but first, back to you guys on the couch.
We are on the couch. Thank you,
We
Layla.
are.
Yes, but someone's not on the couch. Oh, it's Zach, because he's across the way.
What's happening?
What's going on, Z?
Oh, not much. I love this part of the show. It's my favorite part, the banter between us. It's awesome.
Isn't it great?
It is
Yeah.
always nice catching up with Zach because he always brings like a different kind of witty cleverness to the show and new conversation. And he's got that cadence that I'm Zach Selwyn.
Cadence, like,
Yeah.
Get Back. That Lawrence Fishburne movie, I love that movie.
He's also
That's
got,
exactly what he brings.
he's
Zach.
also got flip-flops on.
And they
I
have a
don't know if
beer
that's,
opener on the bottom of it.
Very nice.
This
Really?
is something that we should be promoting more. Absolutely, man.
That's awesome.
Shoe of the summer, my friends. But let's bring one more person into this witty conversation. He's been on the show before. He's a viewer just like you. And if you send in your video voicemails, you too could be on the show. It's Baghead from Cleveland, my man Baghead. What are you up to this weekend,
Hey
dude?
guys, how you doing? Miss Olivia, how are ya?
Hey, Baghead, how are you?
Olivia, I love.
I'm here too, Baghead.
Yeah, buddy, it's
Hey,
cool.
Kevin, hey, Kevin. Olivia, I love when you default to male anatomy. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Well, speaking of female anatomy, what do you got behind you there? That's your girlfriend?
That's
She's
my
got
girl Nancy. Hey, Nancy.
Nancy. She's got a nice set of bags on her herself.
Hey, that's how I love them, big and floppy. You know it.
Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
my gosh.
You're disgusting. What do you got going on this weekend, buddy?
Well, I thought I'd hit Pink's, the Cat's Meow, a couple strip clubs, hit some waves at Lake Erie. You know, the real deal.
Nice, nice. Sounds like a good time. Well, we're going to be checking in with you quite a few times throughout the show. I look forward to catching up with you. But in the meantime, Kevin and Olivia, take it away.
Thank you very much.
You know, Baghead is a really loyal viewer, and like many of you, he has his addictions, probably porn and STDs in his case.
That is.
But what do you think about video games?
You know, gaming addiction is actually becoming a very huge problem. It's not like it used to be a joke, like, oh, I can't get away. No, it's a big, big issue, and that's actually our poll question for today. Have you spent more time playing EverQuest than not? Are your day-long marathon sessions of World of Warcraft punctuated only by pee breaks and Mountain Dew runs? If so, Olivia, you've got a problem. But who's to blame for the video game addiction? Is it the game maker or the player?
That's right. Text your vote to g4techtv. That's 44898 to vote and register for AOTS Live News Alerts.
Now, he hasn't been around for a while, but he has been hard at work, dumping coffee, summoning donuts, skipping meetings. Yeah, here's some of the parables and missives from the only deity officially worshipped by Attack of the Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Office Jesus.
Jesus, you're late. All right, that's it. In my office, right now. Right now! Look, I can't have you keep coming in late. I've spoken to you about this at least 3 times before. Okay, you're setting a bad example for
Spider-Man 2 Justice in its PSP incarnation. So rather than offering a cut-down version of the console version, it offers all new levels, story sequences, and voiceovers from the Hollywood cast. It consists of nearly 20 levels, which touch on the main story points of the film. Spider-Man first has to confront several other villains before his final battle with Doc Ock. While the levels are only a few minutes long, there is a good bit of variety from one to the next. Along the way, you'll beat up tons of thugs and explore indoor and wide-open outdoor environments. Many levels involve a race against the clock, which makes the rather bite-sized missions feel all the more rushed. The combat is simple. You don't need to make extensive use of all of Spidey's different attacks and combos, but there's a decent selection to work with if you want. Spider-Man 2 is available for the PSP.
TELUS Mobility's wireless high-speed network turns your mobile phone into a powerful multimedia machine. With speeds as fast as wireless broadband, handsets like the LG 8100 can take full advantage of TELUS Mobility's Spark services, including TELUS Mobile Music, where downloading songs is fast and can be done anywhere, anytime. The wireless high-speed network is even fast enough to watch live TV on the LG 8100. TELUS Mobility's mobile TV features a number of channels that stream in real time right to your phone. Surfing the net and checking email with TELUS Wireless High Speed is truly like having a mobile office. On the UT Starcom Pocket PC, you can browse the web with full pictures and even check your email in Outlook Express or chat with friends and colleagues with Instant Messenger. Everything you need on the go. Wireless high speed is the perfect solution for the person who wants to do more with their mobile phone.
Welcome back. We are live, which means I could probably just flip out at like any second, but actually I won't do that. Before the break, we asked you, who's to blame for the problem of video game addiction? Well, our crack team of calculator jockeys have tabulated the results, and 15% of you think that the game manufacturer is to blame, and 85% of you think the gamer is to blame. Well, let's go on over to Kevin and get right into it.
Thank you very much, Olivia. Now, you can't stop. Just one more hour, just one more level, just one more life. You keep playing and playing and playing with no end in sight. And as games become more integrated into our lives, gaming addiction is becoming more and more of a problem. But can you really be addicted to a video game? What's causing it, and who's at fault? We have doctors and experts weighing in, folks. Let's get into it. It's The Loop. Joining us via satellite to discuss all things addiction, in Columbia, South Carolina, attorney Damon Watson, who counsels and represents video game companies in legal matters. In Los Angeles, Dr. Jack Kuo, the director of psychiatric services for Promises Treatment Centers in Malibu. And in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Liz Woolley, founder of Online Gamers Anonymous. Everyone, welcome to The Loop here. Damon, I want to start with you, sir, because I know you counsel video game companies when it comes to lawsuits and things, including involving addiction. Now, legally speaking here, Damon, who's responsible? Who's at fault? Is it the game player or is it the game maker?
Well, that's a good question, and I always shudder to use the term addiction when we're talking about video games because it absolutely draws a comparison between games and drugs, and I really think that's a bit unfair, but the cat's out of the bag. They use the word to describe that games all the time, and when it comes right down to it, I really think that gamers, when they're adults, are responsible, and when they're not adults or when they can't look after themselves, I think that the parents are responsible just for watching what their kids play and making sure that they're not playing them too much so that they interfere with the other things they need to do in their life.
And now the reason you have a problem with the word addiction is because it has a connotation with drugs, but I mean, addiction can be associated with anything from gambling to sex to even watching television. That doesn't bother you so much, though?
What doesn't bother me? Gambling and television and, well, no, I think that if you use the term addiction, people think of crack, heroin, and if you look at EverQuest, they've already coined the phrase EverCrack, and I think it's an unfair comparison. I think it's an unfair parallel, and I don't think that it adds to the debate to the extent that there is a debate.
That's true. In fact,
so no, it still sort of bothers me.
EverQuest was one of the first few games, I think, that really came out on the scene, and people said that there might be a problem with this game. In fact, Liz, in 2001, very tragic, your son took his life while playing EverQuest. Do you believe it was the game's fault there, or was there something else at play?
I believe it was the game's fault because my son had been playing computer games since the early 90s, and he didn't have any problem with any other game until he started playing the EverQuest game. And I watched him go into this game, and he became completely addicted to it. And I was just shocked because I never, I wasn't expecting this. I was thinking, well, maybe he could get addicted to drugs or alcohol. But he just left all of us, and he became so immersed into that game. And, I tried to find help for him, but there wasn't any. But it definitely was an addiction. And I just want to make a comment about that EverCrack is the gamers themselves are the ones who coined that name for the game. And they're the ones who are playing it. And so I believe that, yes, they do get truly addicted to these games.
Now Damon, how do you respond to something like that here? Clearly, here's a kid who's played other video games. He gets a particular game, and it has an addictive quality that hooks him in.
I think you can control whether or not you put down that controller. I don't think that games are so powerful that they suck you in and you can't get away. They are compelling. Some of these games are very engrossing. Game designers, good game designers, can design games that are replayable or that you can sit down and play for a long period of time. But you do have to check yourself and know when to get up and put the game down and go be with your kids or go do your job or go play outside or whatever other thing it is that you have to do. And I don't think that they're like drugs or other addictive mediums in that way.
Well, Dr. Quo, clinically speaking here, is there something about a game that could be physically or mentally addictive to the player?
I think there's a differentiation you want to make between the term addictive as it's used by lay people, and by that, hey, people can say everything from gambling to chocolate to Prada can be really addictive. In that sense, in the lay terminology, addictive has come to mean something that people find very engaging, people are very passionate about. And it's very important to distinguish that use of the word addiction with the more clinical term. And when you're using the term addiction...
Thanks, Kev. Okay, so there are so many magazines out there, and this is your guide. I went through like all over the world. There's so many different ones, and you know, there's things that I don't want you guys to miss out on. So, you know, I'm always thinking about you guys.
So sweet.
I know,
so
aren't I? Okay, let's start off with Wired. Now, this is an issue where there's an interview with Superman Returns director Bryan Singer, and in typical Wired fashion, it gets really nerdy really fast. He tells us about the high-tech way he makes movies, and there's a surprise. Singer actually talks about his worst job ever. He used to be a videotape for weddings.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Well, he used to videotape weddings. That's kind of crazy that now he's doing Superman Returns.
Act surprised when you flip to it.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Okay, here is Wizard. It's everyone's favorite comic magazine, and Angelina Jolie is on the cover, because apparently everyone's saying she'll star in Sin City 2, and...
Sean Carruthers, our gadget guy, has done some research into them, and I'm very glad to know what they are. You know, I purchased a little program for the Mac called iPod RIP from the little app factory in Australia, and I'm very happy with that. But you showed me some stuff that's even better, so let's take a look.
Yeah, we got, actually, someone asked us to look into this, so I thought I would do that, because, you know, I've wanted to transfer things back from my iPod as well.
Now, don't use this as the ultimate piracy device. We're talking about, you know, taking them off, and for instance, I use the iPod to move songs from computer to computer.
Right.
I own them all.
If it's your computer.
It's my computer.
Computers,
right.
Why not?
Right, right.
So what we did is we've got one for Windows and one for Mac.
Cool.
Which is why we have two machines up here. We'll start with the one for Windows.
Okay.
Right. So now what we found is
there's a lot of choices on the Mac side. There's fewer on Windows.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we found one called Pod Player.
Pod Player.
And we've got Mikey's machine hooked up to this, his iPod Nano. So you launch the Pod Player package. This is actually something that you can put onto the iPod itself, onto the mass storage portion of it.
So you can carry it with you, and whenever you plug in your iPod, you'll be able to do
And
this.
so the goal of it initially was to take that application with you so you could play your tunes on someone else's machine. Not to take them off, but to play them anywhere. So what we've done is we've launched it, and it's actually seen all of the stuff that's on his iPod.
You'll need a Windows formatted iPod to do this.
Right, or you'll need something like Mac Drive, which can read that. Right. So let's find something. We know that Mikey's big on Avril. Let's go to Let Go and
you can just play it.
Right. So
or you can copy
here's the thing: is you can play this, and it should be coming out now.
That's neat.
I don't know whether Greg's hearing
now,
the other side, but
well, there it is.
There we go.
It's playing the music. So it's playing it from the iPod directly. It hasn't even copied it.
Right. So that's the initial goal of this.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go back to that again. And let's just say that I'm really secretly an Avril fan, but I didn't want to buy it. And I'm going to take it off of Mikey's iPod.
To know about that.
I'm not going to keep this, just so you know.
That's why I picked Avril, so there's no chance.
So you select the album that you want. You can select multiple albums. You can do whatever. So back up the entire thing. And then go to the bottom and hit Extract Songs. And when you do that, you'll see it has a little window here that says Format to Extract to. And what it'll allow you to do is it'll allow you to break down into separate folders. So instead of having one gigantic lump of MP3s in one folder, it'll actually break it down.
How much is this program? This is called Pod Player.
This is free.
Free. That's really nice.
Absolutely free.
Yeah, I really like that. Now, we have a program for the Mac as well.
Right, so I'll just switch
over.
the KVM over, and I'm going to have you operate this one.
This is a good one. I also you found this, and I was very impressed with this. Let's plug in the iPod. This is called Snooty.
Snooty. And what'll happen is it'll launch iTunes.
10 points, Mike. Where does the name Snooty come from? He has no idea. You should put that on the quiz. It's iTunes backwards.
Okay, so you
Look
see,
at it, popped right up.
This launched iTunes, but that's not what we want because obviously we can't copy it
okay, I
back
was
over.
gonna
So
say,
we'll just
Snooty looks just like iTunes.
So we'll tab it over, and that's the one thing about it is it looks almost identical.
It also is very fast, and that's one thing you'll notice about some of these programs is they're really slow.
And it's the same deal with this one. You select the songs that you want. You can select the entire library if you want to back it up, and then you choose at the top right-hand corner up there. There's a thing that says copy.
Or you can press the copy button. Yeah.
And then that will rip it to your hard drive again.
One drawback on this one, and this is free also, and, is that it doesn't copy playlists. It only copies the songs.
Right.
So that's iPod Rip does do that, but it's $15.
It will rip this one into folders as well.
Which is handy.
And one thing I did want to mention before we run out of time on the pod player is that if the file names are too long, say you've got a hip-hop track
which happens
featuring like 600 people on there, and they put that all into the tag, it will actually...
It's smart.
It actually may barf on that.
Oh,
so
it may
stop the extraction.
In which case you have to go in and rename it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, very good. 2 free programs, not for piracy, but for taking the files on your iPod and moving them to another computer, or if you've lost them, and if you paid for a lot of money, that could be thousands of dollars in there if you bought them, how to recover it off of your iPod. But always keep backups. It's always a good idea.
These machines, they're in people's basements, or they're sitting around a closet someplace.
It'll fill the landfill, it'll pollute.
Right.
And you spend a lot of money on this. Let's use it for something. It'll pollute.
Right.
And you spend a lot of money on this. Let's use it for something.
And it has like a 4 gig hard drive on it. A lot of these things, between 4 and 10.
Yeah.
You could go out and buy. No, but you could go out and buy another drive and stick it in the second slot and add 160 gigs.
And you can get a slow drive. You don't need the fastest, greatest.
And really, let's face it, you're going to be serving small files, so you don't need a huge fast. So to start with, okay, so you're at home. You have a computer.
4 gig drive. This is like a giant iPod Mini, is what this is.
That's exactly what it is. So you're going to need to start with a home network.
Right.
So you can go out and buy a wireless network or a wired network box like this for $50, $60, $70.
Go wireless, because then you don't need to buy the wires. Yeah.
Sure. And you're going to need high-speed internet. Typically, you'll plug high-speed internet in this, but you don't need it per se. So you're going to plug both computers into it, or you're going to connect them wirelessly. And then this good old Windows 98 machine, what you're going to do is you're going to boot it up. And right here, actually, I'm looking at the Windows 98 desktop. And I created a little folder called MP3, very simply. Right? And inside there, bunch of MP3 files.
Now, notice you shared that folder over the network.
Well, this is the first step you want to do. What you want to do is you plug it into the network. You're going to find out what the network IP address is.
Okay.
And you can do that by going to your Start button and going to Run, and you're going to get a DOS prompt. And you're going to type ipconfig. And that will give you an internal IP address. Now, you need to write that down. Remember that.
This is after you set up the network. This is the address, a unique address on the network of the computer. 192.168.1. something.
That's right. So remember that. Put that on your notepad. Then you're going to, on the folder that you put all the MP3s in, you're going to right-click on that.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to Properties. And you're going to choose Sharing. And what you have to do is, it'll come up by default as not shared. You're going to share it as, and I call it MP3. That's the share name.
So that's going to put the hard drive on this computer on the network so that you can see it.
That's right, exactly. That's going to make it shareable. Now, let me switch over to my main computer. And we're going to go to Windows XP, where we're going to basically go and get the files. We're going to source the files from this machine. And you can do it for any machine in the house. You may have one machine or more. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to your Windows Explorer. And what I've done is I basically made that folder my Y drive. It's a network shared drive.
Okay, so you mapped it to Y.
So I mapped it to Y, and you do that by going to Tools, going into Map Network Drive, and you're choosing the drive letter, and you can actually type / / the name of the computer.
The name, not the number, the name.
The name. Well, you can actually use the number as well.
That 192.168.1.1, okay.
But I've named it, Music Server. You can use, and then /MP3.
So you're saying the MP3 folder that's on Music Server, I want to name Y.
That's correct.
So now it's the Y drive.
That's correct.
Okay.
But what you can do is you can actually browse to that, so you can go into My Network Places instead, and you can.
And you'll see it.
And you'll actually see it. In fact, we can see it right here. But once you assign it a drive letter, then every time thereafter, when you go onto your computer, and your Y drive will show up.
There it is.
And it's always Y:. It's there. So it's accessible basically at any music player if it's networked. just as a
So
drive.
Winamp, you just say go to Y.
Go to Y drive, exactly, and that's how you do it. Now, I put this is for newbies. This is going to be
That's a lot of steps. We went very fast.
I did put it on the web, the steps on the web, so you can kind of.
The truth is, it's a very simple thing to do.
It relatively is, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be MP3 players now. You could use this to serve all sorts of things. If you hooked up a printer to it, you could make it your print server. You could make it your network sharing. There's all sorts of things you can do with this.
That's right.
And I might even not put Windows 98 on it, but put a little Linux on here.
Well, that would be nice.
And maybe do a little something, a little magic in the thing to make that a more reliable, robust box. But anyway, that's the thing. You got something, it's doing something now for a change. Right. If you want to know more about how to turn your old computer into a music server, and by the way, this doesn't compromise your security at all. As long as you've got a router to protect you from the outside world, you're safe and sound. Right. Check out our show notes, callforhelptv.com. If you're a longtime music fan, you may have a crate of old vinyl records tucked away in the depths of your basement, chock full of faves that nobody's released on CD yet. Or maybe you just don't want to buy a CD, resenting the fact that you have to pay that upgrade fee to the record companies. What you need is a way to get those oldie but still goldie tunes onto a CD or your iPod. And showing us how to do it, Sean Carruthers. He's got all the tools, he's got all the tips, and look at this. He's got the 45s.
I've got this Sony turntable here, which is, like I said, it has the preamp built in.
So one is to buy one with that's kind of designed. And that you can hook up directly to a computer?
You can hook it up directly to a computer if you want. You can hook it up directly to your home theater kit or whatever. If you have an older style of turntable that doesn't have that built in, you'll need something else to get it. You know, it's something to sit between the turntable and the computer or the stereo.
That's kind of the #1 issue of using a turntable is this issue of the output is not quite right for recording. If you have an old turntable and an old stereo, you're all right too, because then you can hook up the amplifier to the PC.
Yeah, you can loop it back around. Okay. So that's not a problem. If you
What is this?
That one right there is ADS Tech. Instant music. Now this is designed to take all of your analog sources and convert them to a digital format.
So this has on the back of it analog inputs.
Right, so those ones you can use with your turntable. You can use those with an MP3
Well, they'll work with a
player.
regular unamplified turntable?
No,
you still need the preamp.
You need a preamp for that. And it also has digital ins and outs. So
that's the Toslink or SPDIF connectors. Right. Okay. And then that goes to FireWire or USB?
That's a USB. USB 2.
Into your computer.
Right.
So that's would you prefer this to connecting to the mini jack on the sound card?
It does have benefits, definitely. Okay. It captures generally a little bit better. You have more control over the volume level with that. I mean, if you're plugging it in, you never know what kind of interference you're going to get. Or,
so all of the conversion to digital is done outside the computer. How much is that?
That one is about $60 US, although I've seen it as low as about $40. So it's
might be a good choice if you wanted to do a bunch of these.
Right.
Or you're going to do this more than once.
Yeah, I mean, it's not particularly audiophile quality, but you know, it's good enough, and it comes with a great software package that I'll show you in a bit.
Okay, good.
If you don't happen to have a preamp, this one is actually a good a choice for that.
And where did you get this?
This one right here is from a company called XP Sound. It's available, I think, out of Australia.
Okay.
But we
Looks
have a
very
distributor in
fancy.
Canada as
Here,
well.
look at this.
So basically all it is an input-output.
And a battery, so you don't have to plug it in.
Yeah, you can do it that way.
It does have a power adapter, too.
Right, it has a power adapter. What it has on the front here that's very neat is a phone line switch. So if you want to plug in your turntable, the old turntable that needed a grounding wire and had a different line level, you just pop that in.
That's what phone is?
Right.
It's not telephone.
Not telephone.
It's turntable.
Phonograph.
Phono, I should say.
So that'll kill the buzzing.
Good. So this is designed for hooking up a turntable.
Right.
You got one more box.
Probably missing out on a great match right now. The 2006 FIFA World Cup from Germany continues on Rogers Sportsnet, TSN and CTV.
64 games, live and in high definition, from the greatest tournament on earth.
So I guess webcams are wider angle than ever, which is good because you want to get. Sometimes you want to get close up of your face, but sometimes you'd like to see, like, the street where you live.
I thought you were going to say because we were all getting wider or something like that.
Because we're getting wider, which is true.
I was waiting for that.
Actually, is true. That is true. We need them now. You know, everything now comes in 3 sizes: small, medium, large, and programmer. And I think that's you know. So this is the programmer version. Wide-angle webcams. And speaking of programmers, Marcel Gagne is here. He's going to talk about Linux and firewalls.
Ooh, great.
Yes, that should be a lot of fun. So we have a good show planned for you. Hope you're going to stick around. Let's get to our first call of the day.
All right.
The jazzy sounds.
We have
sound.
Jeff on the webcam from Ottawa, Ontario.
Yes, it's Jeff from Ottawa. Hey, say hi to Basil. On camera number 1.
Hi.
Hello, Jeff. How are
Hi,
you?
Neil.
I am great.
Hi, Amber. Nice to talk to you again.
Hi there, Jeff.
Oh, everybody says, hi, Jeff. How are you, Jeff?
Good to be back.
So what can we do for you today?
I just had a question. I'm trying to get my computer to be quiet and keep it cool.
Quiet! Quiet! Shut up, computer! You're too noisy. Your computers are noisy. It's funny, you see it in the store, and the store is a noisy environment, and so you don't notice that when you take it home, you've got a 747 taking off in your bedroom.
And I saw the podcast in your office, and you got about 4 or 5 in there.
I have some very noisy computers, and I do a radio show in that tiny little room. So, but it's true that some of the computers are noisier than others. In fact, it's interesting. The most powerful computer in there is probably my Macintosh Tower. It's a dual G5, 2 gigahertz. And that one's one of the quietest computers until it gets hot. And it has a feature that I think a lot of PCs are starting to have, which is variable speed fans. When it's not working real hard, it's very quiet. And you know when it started working hard because the fan starts getting louder and louder and louder. So let's talk about what makes noise in your computer.
Okay.
Really, anything with moving parts makes noise in your computer. The hard drive, the fans can be really noisy. What else is? I guess your CD-ROM can sometimes make noise. You know, in fact, these newer CD-ROMs that spin up at very high rates of speed, those just sound like something horrible's going on inside your computer.
Especially if something's loose.
So, well, that was annoying. I apologize. So, a couple of things you can do. There's not much you can do about the hard drive, right? That's always going to go.
Yeah. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest noise I hear is from the heat sink and
the fans are always the noisiest thing. So you can replace them. They do make quieter fans. They make silent fans. They make ball-bearing fans that have lower noise. And so that's certainly not a bad idea to look for fans that make less noise.
So would you want a fan that's a bigger diameter? And
exactly. You got it.
Okay.
The bigger the diameter, the less it has to spin, right? So it moves more air with less work, so it's going to sound quieter. And in fact, if you look at these special silent fans, they're all, monster muffins.
So why didn't they do that from the start?
Because, well, I'll tell you, because originally in computers you only had one fan, your power supply fan.
Okay.
And then they've gotten hotter and hotter, and now it gets to the point where you'll probably have a power supply fan, you may have a chipset fan, you'll certainly have at least a fan on your CPU, and then you may well have 2 extra fans, one in the front and one in the back, drawing air through. And each one of them is, rattling and making noise. I'll be honest, there's not a whole lot you could do to quiet down a PC. You can replace the fans. They are actually hard drives that are supposed to be quieter, and they are somewhat quieter. And Yoshi, when we were doing case mods on the screensavers some years ago, found some really great material that was kind of like, it's intended for sound baffling. It was kind of like flexible metal. It had padding in it and had metal on the outside, and he tried lining cases with those, and that actually can make a very big difference. But remember that a case cannot be sealed up. It has to have openings. The fans have to be able to take air in, push it out.
Right.
So you can't, it helps deaden the sound, but it cannot eliminate the sound. Everybody's tried to make silent computers, but as computers have gotten faster, that's become a harder and harder goal to reach. What do you do? Do you do anything, Sean, to make your fans or silence your PCs?
Well, I think one of the most important things is if you have fans is just to make sure there's a clear path in there so they're not overworking. So make sure that the air comes in on the front and goes out on the back.
Right.
And pulls it across the CPU. That way there's less work for it to do. If they're not fighting each other, then the heat isn't building up inside the machine. And then again, make sure that there's no cables in the way, so tuck the hard drive cables out. And just take dust out. That'll actually make things noisier as well, so the fans have to grind away against the dirt inside your machine.
There's a good website that devotes itself to this subject called endpcnoise.com. They actually sell a lot of the products we've just been talking about. So they sell big silent fans, they sell case insulation, they sell all sorts of quiet computer parts, including rounded cables, as Sean was saying, to improve the flow of air. So this is a great site for just, you know, finding out. And then they have, they actually have, you know, some instructions and information on what's making the noise and how to quiet things down and so forth. You know, I should probably do a little bit of this because I do have a pretty loud studio now, and I have my shuttle PC has a rattle, which is driving me crazy. I got a little whine and a rattle.
Yeah, that's the other thing is when things are spinning and moving around, if there's anything loose in there, it'll just start clattering against other metal pieces.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's
if you have something that's a computer that's fairly cool, is there any way to adjust the RPMs to sort of find the optimum noise and temperature?
You know, there are, you know, that's a good question. I think the operating system has to support it.
Actually,
go ahead. Marcel Gagne is also here.
This little notebook is actually an incredibly noisy piece of equipment. It was,
Right.
in fact, it was a lot worse than what it is right now.
So what'd you do?
I actually went to the website for the manufacturer, and I had to dig extremely deep to find out. But there was actually a firmware upgrade because
That did that. Yeah.
Exactly, because the firmware was actually overzealous.
Right.
So as soon as you had anything graphical running on the desktop, the fan was on full blast. I put in a new firmware. It's actually a lot saner now. So it's something you might want to check on.
Yeah, you have to check with the manufacturer. This is that damp tech I was talking about, the noise absorption material. There's so many interesting ways to try to achieve this, but I have to be honest with you, it can cost you a lot of money, and the results are something mixed.
Right.
Yeah, we just have to live with it. Maybe put it in the closet.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Jeff.
Okay, thanks very much.
Hey, thanks
nice
for calling.
to talk to you again.
I appreciate it.
It seems the more I watch, the more I have questions.
That's right. That's
but
right.
That means I'm also learning, too.
You're learning. We bring up questions because things you never even thought of before.
Right.
Be very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits. So you made the switch, and now you're a Linux fiend, eh? Now, well, that's a good way to come up with some questions. You may not have viruses. You still need to think about security for your PCs. Linux guru Marcel Gagne has some firewall tips. When we come back, you stay right here.
Tired of your day job? Wish there was a better way to make a living? Now you can train from home to work in the exciting video game industry. Sign up for our Game Art and Illustration program today and receive a computer, software, books, and toll-free support. Call CD Ed today or visit their website and apply online.
Rated E to D. 5 more minutes.
Come on!
Oh! Go! I own you!
Technology is supposed to make your life easier, but when it doesn't, call for help.
This is the show where we teach you how to use it to change your life, to change the world around you.
Let Leo and the gang show you how easy it can be.
I know what it's doing, and I know how to fix it.
They'll give you the inside scoop on all that's latest and greatest.
It allows you to manage all of your invoicing online.
Software, hardware. Is there anything they can't do?
Go!
Putting the support back in tech. Call for help. Brought to you by Nextech.
Welcome back to Call for Help. When it comes to Linux, my favorite open source operating system, you probably believe you're immune to viruses and spyware, don't you? Well, what you may not have considered is that if you have others interacting with your computer, you may not be immune from hack attacks. So here with some security tips on setting up Linux firewalls is Marcel Gagne.
Well,
there isn't really any spyware issue on Linux.
There are no spyware issues to speak of. In fact, I'm not aware of any spyware whatsoever that affects Linux at all.
And viruses, none either, right?
No. No. I mean, there are some, that are proof of concept in the labs and so forth, but there are no viruses circulating for the Linux.
The only thing you really have to worry at all about with Linux is a flaw, a bug in software that allows a bad guy in.
Yeah, and of course the other thing that you can do with Linux that you can't necessarily do with a lot of things out of the box is I can run all sorts of different services on here. I can run a web server, I can let somebody get into my system.
That just opens you up.
Bingo.
Yeah.
At that point, as soon as you start running services on there, you open up the possibility that someone might exploit something. Now, granted, the likelihood is fairly small at that point, but let's say, for instance, that you're a gamer and you and you actually run a game server on your system so that a few of your friends can play. Well, game servers are notorious, tend to be notorious security holes in a lot of cases. And you might be opening yourself up at that point, and you might just want to let your friends in and nobody else. So what you do is you use a firewall at that point.
Firewall can do that? You could say only these IP addresses are allowed in?
Selectively. And in fact, you can do it on the fly. And what I want to show you today is a couple of things. First
now, Linux comes with a firewall.
It does.
It used to be IP chains, now it's IP tables.
IP tables, right.
And every distribution has
Every
one.
distribution
but it may
has
not be turned on.
And actually, a lot of them have it by default. In other words, when you install it, there's a firewall that's already installed by default. But of course, you might want to be able to play with that and change things on the fly.
No, I used to do it in command line with conf files, and it's a lot of work.
And we can still do that. Like, I mean, if I want, I can type IP tables -L here, and you'll see all the firewall rules that are active on the system at this moment.
Oh, actually quite a few.
Yeah, quite a few, but that's part of the way the firewall is set up by default. Now, we've got Mike over there who's going to try to get into my system, okay? And I've
Mike,
asked him,
our little hacker, Mike.
Mike, our little hacker, is going to try to get into the system and just, tear my system apart.
Okay.
And what I've got here is a program called Firestarter, which is actually a Linux firewall that is dead simple to operate.
Is it using IP tables? Is it just
using
front-end IP
It's a front-end to IP tables, but it's incredibly friendly, incredibly easy to use, and I highly recommend it for people who are trying it. And you'll notice if you take a look at it there, it shows inbound connections, outbound connections. You can also, firewall outbound connections, but generally we don't do that. And you can see that there's a total there. 7 of them are considered serious at this point. And there's a tab over here. If I click events, you can see all the connections that Mike has tried to do on the system.
Mike, he's been trying to SSH in.
And he's been trying to view my secure web pages and so forth. But let's say
he's doing it again.
He's doing it again. But let's say that I actually want Mike to be able to view my web server.
Okay.
I can click this particular event or any of the ones where he's tried this, and a little pop-up menu shows up.
Oh, that's neat.
And I can say allow connections from source, which means anything that he tries to do is allowed. I can also say allow inbound service for everyone. In other words, everybody can use my web server.
Right.
Or I can say allow this service, in other words, the web server, for only him. So if I click that and I say allow it, and I'll save the list, and then we go back over to the status window here, because of course, whoops. Yeah. Sorry, go back to the status window there. Mike.
Go ahead now, try to, what were you doing, surfing? Was that what he was doing?
Yes, try to connect with the
Try to HTTP in here.
Oh, okay. Give me a sec.
Now we're waiting. Now we're waiting.
That's the curl.
Yeah, and we can and we can do that with all sorts of things. So I can actually say allow connections. Everything that he wants to do now would be allowed on the system.
It's not mean.
So,
and it's working apparently.
Whoops, sorry. Let me go back to that first window. There we go.
There he is.
And you can actually see a connection. Those are active connections of people online. Now these will fade after a few seconds, so it doesn't sit there and give you a whole pile of things on the screen that scrolls off forever. Eventually, his connection fades out, and you can see it that way. So it's a really cool firewall application. It's real time.
I wish Windows firewalls were this straightforward. That's really sad.
And it's free.
It's free.
It's free for the download, and some systems actually even come with it. So it's actually very nice.
He's trying to get some email out.
That's because I let him do everything now.
There was your mistake.
That's a real mistake.
He's trying to get
what he
mail.
doesn't know is he doesn't actually have an account on here. So.
That's really nice. So even if though you have the firewall, configuring can be complicated. This program makes it much simpler.
Well, the other thing that's nice about this program is that every distribution has its own way of doing things.
Yeah, that's right.
So they'll have, an interface that says this is how you do this, this is how you do that. And let's face it, a lot of people that are playing with Linux like to play with different distributions.
Right.
You know how that is.
Right.
And what this makes possible is that regardless of what you run, this is a program that you can find and run on a variety of distributions.
It always looks the same.
Always looks the same, always works the same. You don't have to learn anything new at that point.
Is IP tables kind of the standard firewall now with most Linux distros?
Most Linux distributions come with
So they stopped using IP chains.
Quite a while ago, actually. Yeah.
Shows how showing my age here. IP tables. Okay, well that's good to know. Yeah. It's nice though to have an operating system that comes with a firewall. firewall.
It is.
Especially one that doesn't bog your system down and works.
And it's there by default. I should point out, one of the more popular distributions out there today is Ubuntu is.
Yeah, I love Ubuntu, yeah.
Ubuntu does actually does not come with a firewall.
Huh.
Because it doesn't come with any services turned on at all.
Oh, so you don't need one.
Exactly.
Oh,
or at least that's the philosophy behind it anyway. You don't have any services, what do you need a firewall for?
They were trying to make it simple, and that was the whole
Precisely, yeah. They're trying to make it as simple as possible. Now, on Ubuntu systems, of course, I routinely turn on various services like Secure Shell. I like to let people come into my machine, and that's what I install. I just install Firesider and run that.
It's great.
Great
there you
program.
go. All the details are in Marcel's new edition of Moving to Linux. Kiss the blue screen of death. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Second edition is now out, and I highly recommend it from Addison Wesley. We get all the time people asking, what's the best Linux book if you're moving from Windows? And this is, there's not even any question. It describes the kinds of things you expect to be able to do from your Windows experience. It describes how to do them in Linux.
That's right. I know you're telling the truth, but I love you anyway.
Learn more about Marcel at his website, marcelgagne.com, and of course, Firestarter is linked in our show notes. callforhelptv.com. Are you ready for some tech trivia? Yes, it's Next Tech Quiz question of the day. When did the Lumiere brothers invent a portable video camera? Should we say a portable film camera, or should we say a portable video camera? 1918. I think we can say portable moving pictures camera.
Yeah,
How about that? 1918, 1895, 1902, or was it just last week? I think it was. Go to the website. Give us the answer. We'll talk about it when Call for Help continues. I don't think they invented a video camera.
New from Mega Club. Get the best jokes directly on your cell phone. They're hilarious. Write a text message with the word fun to the number 85050 and press send. They're so funny. We'll make your sense of humor even better. Impress your friends. Make them laugh. Let the joke of the day be your joy of the day. Do it now. Grab your phone and text the message fun to the number 85050. Applicable for all ages. $1 Canadian per joke.
No one ever thinks about batteries or cables. Why? Because we all want the big things, the cool things, the high-tech things. Well, to be honest, to get the most out of the big things, you have to have the little things. And there's one place that understands that. The Source by Circuit City. From the latest laptops to the things that make them go, where experts know how everything works and how they work together, all at the right price. It's The Source by Circuit City.
I've heard of gingivitis, but like most people, I never made the connection to myself. The fact is, gingivitis is extremely common, yet no one thinks they have it. Signs of gingivitis include plaque buildup and red bleeding gums. Left untreated, it can lead to gum disease, which has been linked to more serious conditions such as osteoporosis and heart disease. The good news is gingivitis is both preventable and reversible. Take control of your oral health and ask your dental hygienist about gingivitis.
The HP PhotoSmart 475 portable photo printer is the only printer of its kind to store a year's worth of photos, up to 1,000 of them, using its onboard 1.5 gigabytes of internal memory. It prints 5x7s, 4x6s, and even panoramic photos instantly. And using HP's photo value packs, 4x6 prints cost as low as 30 cents a print. The PhotoSmart 475 has multiple memory card slots and a USB connection for flash drives or PicBridge-enabled cameras. Using the optional Bluetooth adapter, you can also connect wirelessly to Bluetooth-enabled camera phones. For easy viewing and editing of images without the use of a computer, the printer has a 2.5-inch color display that allows you to get creative by adding text and borders, or fix images by removing red eye or enhancing the details in dark photos. The HP PhotoSmart 475 portable photo printer is the perfect companion for the person who loves to take digital pictures and share them instantly and easily.
Welcome back to Call for Help. Time for our Mac tip of the day. Here's how you can send a song that you've created in GarageBand to iTunes. All you have to do is create your song. We'll create something here with the grand piano, and then we'll stop it. I know I'm not a pro just yet. And then go up to the top, click on Share, and then send song to iTunes.
Just don't click on Sunny.
No. And then it will automatically load up that song in iTunes. And that's it. I need to work on my GarageBand skills.
very progressive.
It is. It's kind of cool.
kind of modern.
And now we have another caller. We have David on the line from Goldsboro, North Carolina.
It's like John Cage. Da-da-da-da-da.
Masterpiece.
Yeah. Hey, David, how are you today?
How you doing?
I'm very well. Welcome to Call for Help.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
I got a question concerning Linux.
Okay.
I recently had a computer that was burned up, and I had to replace the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM.
You mean physically
power
burned?
supply, and everything else in there.
Burned up like in a fire burned up?
I think electricity.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, it was a freebie.
Oh, all right.
So I figured I'd replace the operating system rather than Windows.
Yep.
I figured I'd use Linux.
Okay.
Now, I got to say that was one of the easiest loading operating systems I've ever loaded.
Isn't that amazing? Marcel's jumping up and down here, our Linux expert. Isn't it amazing? It's gotten so much better. Which one did you choose?
I got Linux Red Hat.
Red Hat. Wonderful. All right.
Now, my question is, all the books that I've seen so far want to take you through the boot system, through the command line.
Yes.
Is there any book that takes you just the opposite?
Through the GUI, through the user interface.
That's correct.
Yeah. It's funny that you're in North Carolina and you're using Red Hat. You know that Red Hat's in North Carolina.
Yes, sir, I do.
So you were being patriotic.
No.
No. No, it's a very good choice. Red Hat's kind of the king of the Linux distributions. Well, Marcel was just here a second ago, and I have to say that's the entire idea behind Marcel Gagne's book, and I would certainly recommend this. Moving to Linux 2nd edition. It's specifically for Windows users, so it's very much oriented not to the command line, but to the graphical user interface. And if you just browse through the book, you'll see that everything is using the graphical user interface. I mean, that's the whole idea. Beck, I don't know, do you have any command line information in here at all, Marcel?
I do. I've got an introduction to the command line.
Just so you know.
Yeah, so you know, and so that, you're not afraid of it. You can try out a few things and so forth. But it really is an introduction.
Do you have any other books that you might recommend? I mean, I'm putting you on the spot, Marcel.
You put me on the spot. You gotta
David, this is the only book you should buy is Kiss the Blue Screen of Death Goodbye. Just the name alone.
That's right.
But
all right.
If there were another book.
But if there were another book, actually, it never hurts actually to look at other titles. Obviously, I think, that's a brilliant book.
Well, I can tell you also, you will end up having more than one Linux book on your shelf.
I have shelves full of books. Yeah, I mean, that's always the way it is. I mean, you want, to look at
you learn
the way
something. Yeah.
Exactly. Different people will show you how to do different things. Exactly. Not everybody covers exactly the same material. But one of the other books, if you want something that's, there's Peter van der Linden's Guide to Linux, which is a fairly new one.
Okay.
It's desktop oriented. There's Robin Miller, also known as Roblimo, on the internet.
Roblimo's great.
Point and click Linux.
I actually wrote the foreword for Point and Click Linux.
You did?
I'm sorry to say. So I'm glad you brought him up, because that's actually, I think he did a very good job. Now, he focuses on MeePus, I think, yes?
He does. And of course, a lot of these books come with a bootable distribution, so you can try different types of Linux.
Right.
Now, Robbins also has little video clips. You can watch him doing things on little video clips.
Point and click, that's exactly the idea. It's all GUI oriented, right?
That's right. Yeah. There's also Deanne LeBlanc's, Linux for Dummies, if you actually want to, go to a series that's been around for a long, long time.
On general principles, David, I don't buy books for dummies, because I don't think I'm a dummy and I don't think you're a dummy, and it always
I'm not particularly fond of that expression either.
Yeah,
no, I'm not.
Yeah. Although
I've got it, and I used it as a reference or a quick reference.
It's a good book. She does a good job.
Yeah, and it's a good place to start. Like I said, Robbins is very simple. I mean, it's like you dip your feet in and that's it. I take you a little bit deeper. I actually start with very simple stuff, but I actually go deeper. And of course, my book is twice as thick as Robbins.
I would say those both are good books. You start with the Point and Click Linux. That's Robin Miller, Point and Click Linux. Start with that because it's just dipping your toe in, but it'll give you some confidence. But when you really are ready to actually learn how to do stuff, and you're trying to choose, for instance, what word processor I should use, what programs I should use to do this or that, what is the Linux analog for this Windows activity, this is really the best book. And I can say that even though Marcel's in the room, I always thought it was. Moving to Linux, the 2nd edition, Kiss the Blue Screen of Death Goodbye.
And when you get comfortable with a desktop, if you want to find out about, a system-oriented type books, give us another call.
Yeah, because we can give you a whole list of those, too. Hey, thank you, David.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Enjoy Linux. I think that's really great. And I have to say, I've used Linux for years, and I've always had Linux around, and I've always had Unix around, I've always had Mac OS 10. But now I have 2 Windows machines, and I think it's really time. Nobody should have 2 Windows machines. I think it's time to run Linux full-time and have the Windows machine be the secondary machine. What do you think? What do you think?
You have to have the Windows machine
Crazy?
at all.
Insane? Well, you got to have Windows for something. I don't know why. Some reason. Oh, yeah, this TV show. They ask me about Windows all the time. Hey, if you're a Mac user, we might have the perfect tool for you to build your own website. And we're not talking about a simple, boring page, but in fact, a page that can include podcasts, blogging, pictures. It's the new iWeb from Apple. Amber MacArthur is going to show you a complete review on today's web workshop. Don't go away. Stay right here.
Clarity of high definition is another reason why this year, more than ever, it's called the beautiful game.
If you can't catch the games live, you don't need to worry. Throughout the tournament, there'll be primetime replays in the evenings on TSN and Rogers Sportsnet. For complete schedule information, including live games and replays, visit either sportsnet.ca or tsn.ca.
So if you're watching this, you're probably missing out on a great match right now.
The 2006 FIFA World Cup from Germany continues on Rogers Sportsnet, TSN and CTV.
64 games, live and in high definition, from the greatest tournament on earth.
My desktop, so I'll choose this photo of a team dinner we had a while ago, and we all put spoons over our eyes.
Oh, you just drag it in there?
Yeah, you just drag it in there, just find it, and then we can move that over. So that's a call for help team. So all of a sudden that becomes our welcome page.
If you've used Pages or Keynote or any of the other Mac apps that do this, you'll feel right at home. It's really the same kind of thing.
And then we can keep adding pages. So we're going to go up to File at the top of the iWeb menu. So go up to File, click on New Page again, and then it goes back. It has all of these pages, Welcome, About Me, Photos, Movie, Blog.
These are masters. That
exactly.
You can,
So we'll go and we'll pick an About Me page. So we'll choose that. So it's going to add another page to our site for us. This is about me. Again, I don't know who this girl is, so we'll say about us because
Mike
it's the whole
says
team.
she can work on our team, though.
Mikey,
Mike wants
she's
her on
history.
the team. Oh, man.
I'm kidding. She can come back later. And then what we want to do is we want to choose a photo to go in there. So again, I go back to the desktop. I'm going to say this is kind of a stylish picture of our whole team because we're doing a fashion show here. And I want to get rid of this because it's not appropriate.
Can you shrink this or enlarge the picture? Or are you stuck? So you're not stuck with any? Oh, that's really
So watch this. We're making the picture a little larger.
That.
So look how slick that is. And then what I would want to do right here is to say, you know, my friends.
They're not really my friends.
No, we could replace these with, you know, we could have a picture of Gary, Katya, Mohit, and all the people around the right-hand side. So it makes it really, really easy. So it's all drag and drop, and we can do that to the entire page.
By the way, I want to point out something there. At the bottom there, it says made with an Apple, made with a Mac. If you go right to the bottom of the page, you can click and delete it.
Yeah,
you're not stuck with that, so don't feel
Gone.
like you don't have to put an ad
They'd like
for
to
Apple
keep
in
it.
there.
They'd like you to keep it there. So you see what it's doing at the top. It's building out our navigation for us automatically.
does a
so we
menu.
had welcome and about me, and then we want to go back here. I want to choose another page, so I'm going to click new page. This is really cool. So I'm going to click on a movie page. So we'll select that. So we're adding a movie page. Now, Mikey would probably like us to leave this in here
girls
too.
again.
But that's gone. So what I'm going to do is add my own movie. So I click on choose. And on the desktop, I'm going to choose a movie of Mikey on a Segway. Look how easy this is.
Wow.
The movie's in there. So, and then I can drag it so it's bigger.
With controls and everything. And if you've ever tried to do this in a real web page, it's considerable effort.
It's a lot of effort. So then I do Mikey on a Segway.
Look at this.
And then right from the page,
it plays and everything.
I can play it right off the page. I can choose how big the window is and all of that.
It's even live in the design, which is pretty neat.
Oh, it's great. And then I can put a bunch of text on the bottom. I can change all that. I can move it around. It's just really, really slick. The last thing I wanted to show is that if I were to, or we were to create a podcast in GarageBand, which is really quite easy to do now, we can go into GarageBand, open it up, and we recorded something before we started, a little something. So
by the team members.
By the team members of Call for Help. And so all I do after I've created a podcast, and there's way more in here, and I know Alex Lindsay's going to
drag that to the left so it starts at the beginning.
Alex Lindsay's actually going to do an in-depth review of creating a podcast in GarageBand. But for now, we'll just say it's really easy. You just click record, you create it, and then we want to share it. So I say send podcast to iWeb. So I've created my podcast. I send it to iWeb. It's creating the mix down, so it's putting it all together.
Steve Jobs did this during his keynote, and it was really impressive.
Well, when someone
he actually
can create
made a podcast with pictures and everything.
Exactly. When you can create a podcast that quickly, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put the podcast on the podcast page. So I click choose. So it's adding that page.
Look at that in the menu bar and everything.
And we didn't add an image, but we could have easily in GarageBand gone back and added an image.
So that's the generic image.
So this is the generic image.
But you could shrink that down if you didn't have an image, just make it a small
Exactly, because it's just audio, so we'll move that,
Right.
move it over, and let's say we want to add some text. We want to move this up here, Amber's podcast, and then we want to put the date up here.
Cool.
And then all we have to do is...
I like how it's live while you're designing it.
It's really cool. So then now we will see it's added all of the nav again up at the top here. And then if you want to listen to the podcast...
Hi, I'm Leo Laporte. I'm the guy who makes sure all the computer screens are clean on Call for Help. I come in before the show each morning and I scrub them all down. So if you're watching the show and you like the screens, just think of Leo.
Thanks, Leo. Okay, so there's our little podcast.
I didn't even know he worked for us.
So, in 5 minutes, we've created a really interactive website. Literally
that looks
5 minutes.
Great.
So,
now, how do we upload it, though? That's the hard
there's
part,
a couple
right?
different things you can do. One, you can export it immediately to go and sync up in your .Mac account.
That's
We're not going to do it because it actually takes a few minutes for it to
churn a little bit.
to happen, but I'm going to save it and just let it do this quickly, and then we'll take a look at it, see how long it takes, and we're just saving it to the desktop so we can take a look at what's called the index file.
So you can actually browse it on the computer before you upload it, which is probably a good idea.
Exactly.
This is what it would look like in the browser.
Hopefully it saved the whole thing. I didn't give it much time, but we'll take a peek.
I think it did, believe.
Oh, this is an older one I did. But anyway, you would load up. I'll load up the other one. We'll show it at the end. So then it will have all the nav at the top of the page. So it's quick.
Why don't you upload it to the website and during the show
And
we'll
at the
let
end,
you go and look at it
I'll
on
upload it
.Mac.
to my .Mac account.
Yeah. And
So,
notice how long it takes just so we get a sense.
so you get a sense of how long it takes. It's a few minutes. We just don't have time to show it, but we'll show it later.
Pretty amazing.
It's really amazing.
Very nice stuff. So if you want to know more about iWeb, get some more iWeb insight, visit callforhelptv.com. A quick break, a peek behind the scenes at the actual people who cleared the screens on the show, and then we'll be right back in the swing of things with more tech help. Stay right here.
Thanks is over. 10, 9, 8 commercials, 7, 6, 5 commercials, 4, 3, roll commercials, 2, 1, and
With Dell, you don't just get a quality computer at a great price. You can also get warranty coverage against accidental drops, unexpected spills, and power surges. With customer service whenever you need it 24/7. No wonder Canadian consumers have voted us #1 in service and support. So get the PC you want with the service you deserve. When it comes to peace of mind, Dell has you covered. Go to dell.ca/myservice or call today to find out more.
Call yourself a gamer? Step into the real game.
Okay, well, let's get started.
This is the place where gamers and players meet. In exchange for their gaming tips, these guys get to meet with the pros. Training Camp with Eddie George, where gamers and athletes collide.
One of the most anticipated PlayStation 2 releases of 2005 was God of War from Sony. You play as a former Spartan in a fictional version of ancient Greece, and your mission in this action adventure is to eventually slay Ares, the Greek god of war. You start the game out with some basic combat skills, including a light and heavy attack, plus a block and a grab move. These can all be combined for some effective and cool-looking combos that are a lot of fun. You can unlock new attacks and harness magic as you take out some of the bosses that get in your way. Exploring the levels rewards you with different types of orbs that replenish health, boost magic, or upgrade your attributes. The combat is broken up with some platforming elements, as well as some light puzzle solving that adds variety. But the core of the gameplay is definitely the action. Action fans should definitely check out God of War for the PlayStation 2.
Welcome back to Call for Help. Time for a Google tip of the day. Here's how you can view an original article after you have it in the Google News Reader. Just open up the article you want to read, click on Show Original Item, click the link, and that will link directly to the source site. In this case, it's to the Slashdot site. And now we have another caller. We have John on the webcam from Linden, Alberta.
Hello, John. How are you?
Good. Yourself, Leo?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
You snuck up behind me. What can I do for you today?
Well, I've got a capture card that I've been using for capturing video from my VCR and such, but I want to use it for recording some TV programs.
Oh.
It's a DC-10 Plus Pinnacle card.
That's a great card, actually.
Oh, right on.
That's the old Miro card.
Yep.
And I highly recommend those. So you've got analog in.
Yep.
So the only thing is that you there's two issues you got to solve now. One is getting the video into that, and that means you have to have a cable box or an antenna with an analog output.
Yeah, that's not an issue.
Yeah, and then the other one is scheduling.
Yeah.
Are you going to use Windows for this?
Windows or Linux, I don't care either
On
way.
Linux, I highly recommend it. It'll work well with the DC-10 Myth, and the best way to do Myth is Knopmyth, Knopmyth. And one of the great things about Knopmyth is because it's based on Knoppix. It's mysettopbox.com. Because it's based on Knoppix, you actually can make a bootable CD with all the software on it.
Fantastic.
And boot it and try it, right? See if it works on your system and without touching the Windows installation. So I would do that because it's a great way to make sure everything's working, your hardware all works right and everything. Obviously, if you're going to record TV shows, you will have to record to the hard drive.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if it works well, you want to install it. So this is free. That's mysettopbox.tv.
Perfect.
And if you go to revision3.com, you can see Kevin Rose and I think it was Dan Howard did a system episode on Myth TV.
Okay.
So on installing it and running it, they actually did a pretty complete job. So certainly give you an idea of what is involved. It's episode 2 of System, SYSTM. And so they have links to all the things. And they use Knopmyth as well. In fact, I think anybody who's using Myth at this point probably is using Knopmyth. It's just so much easier. If you want to stick to the Windows choices, there's two good ones. There's Snapstream, which is snapstream.com. That's commercial. You have to buy it. And I don't remember if you have to pay a monthly on this or not. I don't think so. And then the one I prefer slightly to this is sage.tv, which is a media center for Windows. And actually, you can, if you go to Newegg, believe it or not, buy Windows Media Center even. You're not supposed to buy it standalone, and Newegg does this little funny dance where they say, but you're buying this to build a computer, right? Uh-huh. Yeah. Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah.
And so you could buy it. I'm not sure I would necessarily recommend it. In fact, I don't think I would because you've already got the hardware. And it's probably not a good idea to do it after the fact. So, because they have very specific needs for what you put in. So the nice thing about Sage, if you go to the Sage store, they sell bundles with the hardware, and I'm pretty sure the DC-10 is one of the cards that they work with.
Perfect.
So Sage.tv if you're going to do it on Windows, Knopmyth if you're going to do it on Linux. But either way, that DC-10 should be more than adequate to get the job done.
Good.
Okay?
That's what I want to hear.
Well, now, wait a minute. Does the DC-10 have a tuner in it?
No, it does not.
Okay, so that's going to be a problem. I'm sorry. There is one other issue. How do you change the channel?
Yeah.
You're going to have to change it by hand. So are you connecting to a cable box?
It's a satellite receiver.
Satellite receiver?
But, yeah, just
so
through there.
There's no way the computer could tell the satellite receiver go to channel 20.
Yeah.
So there's a big disadvantage unless you have you might want to look at getting a card with a tuner in it. Well, no, it's not. You're still going to have the issue because you got to get the satellite box to go to 20 as well. So you're only going to be able to record shows if you've set the channel to the channel you want.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, because it just can't change a channel.
Yeah, I understand.
It can do everything else.
Yeah.
You can start the record, end the record, can't change the channel. What do you recommend,
Well, I
Mike?
was going to say, isn't there infrared blasters that you can hook up to your computer that will change the channel on the cable and satellite box for you?
I know TiVos come with IR Blaster, and there may be, in fact, if you look through the Sage TV site, there may be an IR Blaster solution that allows you, it'll have to be compatible with your satellite decoder.
Definitely.
But if you can find one of those, then you're set. So you really don't want a TV tuner card because the tuner is in the satellite decoder. That's really where you want to keep it. Okay?
Excellent.
It's a project, but there's the pointers you need to get to work.
What I like to hear.
Good luck, John.
Thank you, Leo.
Thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Take care.
So many people are doing that these days. I mean, that's the thing to do, isn't it? Record your own television. And I think it really more so here in Canada, where you couldn't get a TiVo for a long time. So there was a much more interest in that. But now with all the cable boxes and DVRs and everything. Hey, sometimes we show you free files that are all about pretty eye candy and little else, like the Mikey screensaver. Speaking of eye candy, Hot Pants Lazaro is here with 3 different screensavers. It'll keep your peepers happy. He's become a screensaver guy.
Well, this is my last and.
No, I love it. No, never knock.
I love
Do not knock the screensaver.
They keep my attention, right? And so this is a cool one right here. I'm going to show off 3 of them real quick. This is.
You were telling me about this.
This is the water one. Lots of water. It's called. We'll test it.
But it takes
here.
your existing desktop and makes it moist.
It looks like it looks like you're dropping water.
Oh, you got to switch over to it. Can you switch over to it?
That would help.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
this is so cool.
This is the coolest screensaver I've seen because it looks really neat. It looks like someone's actually dropping water on
it. It looks like it's actually under a little bit of water,
yeah.
too. I mean,
and you can change the depth of the water. You can have big ripples, and you can change the frequency of how often it rains or whatever.
It's kind of scary because it's so wet.
Exactly. So there's 2 other ones. These are less as great, but the snow one is kind of neat because each snowflake is actually unique.
Just like the real snowflakes.
Just like the real snowflakes. So we can test that real quick.
Somebody told me there's really only 3 different kinds of snowflakes: Fred, Tom, and Harry. And if you get, it just looks like there's.
Yeah, they're lying. So this, this is less is great. And then here's another one I'm going to show real quick. Here, it's called Lots of Glass.
And you can't combine these, have like wet snow.
Yeah, I'm sure your CPU would be overworked. It's kind of neat because it's like kind of a glass formation. But anyhow, these are really neat, fun. Keep your eyes happy if you have your computer sitting there. Like my new 20-inch soon will be.
Are you getting the new iMac?
I'm going to get an older iMac,
older,
but 20-inch. But yeah.
20 inch is nice.
Yeah, nice and
That's
big.
good. That wouldn't be related to the one that disappeared from our set, would
Absolutely not.
Okay. Just teasing you. That's beautiful.
That's neat. So anyhow, this is maybe my last one. Maybe I'll do one more.
I confess I've gotten more into screensavers because of you, and I started loading them up on my system.
Yeah. They can use lots of
resources. We could do a few more. I wouldn't mind that. Looking for a new webcam? You don't need a screensaver, we should say. Your screen is not going to burn in. It's just for fun. It's a toy. If you're looking for a new webcam, but you want to make sure you include more in the picture, not a cam of you maybe, but maybe of the street outside or your house, Call for Help Labs took a look at some wide-angle wonders. And Sean will be here right after the break to give us the full picture. But first, one more chance to get this Next Tech quiz question of the day. When did the Lumiere brothers invent, we've now fixed this to portable movie camera, because they don't think they had video, the Lumiere brothers. In 1918, 1895, 1902, or 2006? Go to the website, give us the answer. We'll talk about it in just a bit.
Attention gamers, go beyond just playing games. Get ready to have a blast with Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb on X-Play. X-Play gives competitive gamers tips, tricks, reviews, and previews with the potential to raise your blood pressure. Do you want to continue? X-Play, only on g4techtv.
Tired of your day job? Wish there was a better way to make a living? Now you can train from home to work in the exciting video game industry. Sign up for our Game Art and Illustration program today and receive a computer, software, books, and toll-free support. Call CDED today or visit their website and apply online.
Ever since we took Dave into Wireless Wave, he's adjusting really well. He definitely feels at home. He really enjoys being part of Wireless Wave.
I really enjoy being a part of Wireless Wave.
He's experiencing choice for the first time in his life.
Choice of network?
Choice of networks.
Any phone?
Any phone.
Wow. Start off the new year right with the Nokia 6020, now available from your Fido experts.
There's a little less room since Dave moved in, but that's okay. Good night, Dave.
Good night, buddy.
Wireless Wave. Cellular. Made simple.
g4techtv maps our wired world. It has people who help.
A show where we help you master your technologies.
It doesn't get any more electrifying than this.
And games that thrill. g4techtv is a digital channel that sees the world like no one else. To order, call your local cable or satellite provider.
I've got to say, impressive.
Welcome back to Call for Help. Before the break, we asked you when the Lumiere brothers invented the portable camera for motion pictures. I'm thinking 1918. No, the answer would be ding, 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 a long time ago, 1895. Wow. Pretty crazy. Wow. Well, speaking of motion picture cameras, webcams nowadays are a big part of going online. They allow you to hold online business meetings. Yeah, right. That's why people buy them. Monitor your home and keep in touch with your long-distance loved ones, some of whom you've never met before. You can even use them to be a caller on Call for Help. But one of the problems is webcams, well, sometimes they just don't fit enough into the picture, especially as we all gain weight. Here to show us some new wide-angle models, Sean Carruthers from the Call for Help Labs. You've got these all look so futuristic.
They do. I love the way these things
Yeah.
are done. They used to be they were just like a tiny little box that sat on top of your computer.
Right.
Didn't look very special.
No, these are beautiful. So what companies are we talking about here?
Well, we've got two different companies here right now. We've got Logitech.
Logitech has become the king of webcams.
They were the ones that really got noticed with the QuickCam originally, and and we've also got some from Creative. They've recently moved into the space for the last couple of years, and some of these new ones have gotten pretty good. So
let's take a look. All right.
So we've taken a look at two different kinds from each. We'll take a look at this one first. This is the QuickCam.
I like the mount.
Fusion.
That was nice. That sat right on the screen very easily.
Right, and this one is nice because it can sit on your LCD screen. You can tilt it so that it sits on a CRT monitor just fine.
Laptop would work
on your laptop. Right, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about this, all of these have a viewing angle of about 75, 76 degrees, which is pretty broad. So you can get more into the picture. You can see the studio.
Do they also do not wide angle, or is that kind of what everybody wants now, is wide angle?
Most of the new ones look like they are going wide angle.
Huh, interesting. It's got a cover, which is good, because there's sometimes when you just don't want anybody to see you.
Right. Most of them don't have that. The eyesight from Apple has that. This one does. Not too many of them do.
Yeah.
The one big thing that I wanted to talk about with most of the new ones is the sensor that's inside them. At the beginning, when you first got webcams like 3, 4, 5 years ago, you got CMOS sensors inside.
Right.
And CMOS became synonymous with crappy.
Right.
Because the picture on them was very bad. You get low light, you get speckles, a lot of noise in there.
Right.
A few years back, they moved to CCD, which gave you a better picture. And now they're actually moving back to CMOS.
Well, you know, some high-end cameras like the Canons use CMOS.
And that's exactly it.
Yeah.
The quality of the CMOS sensors has
improved,
gotten quite a bit better.
I have to say these pictures are remarkably good. Much better than I'm used to.
Right, and that one right there is actually using a CMOS sensor. The Creative ones that we have are using a CCD. So we can get a sense. The one with both of us in the shot there, that's a CCD sensor.
That's the one on top of this screen here?
That's the one on top.
There is an almost palpable fisheye. You can see there's curvature at the corner of the screen here. So
Yes,
that's really wide angle.
Right.
I mean, look at my head gets so big when you go down.
So the one thing here, they're not at the same size. I'll just blow this one up a little bit so you can see the picture a little bit better. So
that is a remarkable
picture. It's very crisp. If you go to the CCD, it's a little bit more grainy. And I mean, partly that's because there's lights in the background, but that's one of the things that CCDs have trouble with, is keeping things stable.
Isn't that ironic that we thought for a long time CMOS was the bad thing, and now it's turning out CCDs are the bad thing.
It is the way to go now.
Yeah.
So what else did I need to say?
We use CCDs in our studio cameras, so it really, I think a lot of it depends on the, how much work has been done on the product.
Right, bring that over a little bit. One other neat feature that we have on a lot of these that you have to watch out for is something called pan and tilt. Now, there's two different ways of doing this, and one of them is motorized, and the Creative one
you can see
here,
it looks like a little robot. It's got lots of capability.
Right, and I'm going to turn this on over here.
So this you'd be able to control where the camera's pointing remotely. This would be good for a security camera, a camera that's on a street or a ski slope, so people could actually move it around.
I lost the ability to move that. Oh, that's
it also has motion detection, which is kind of
right. So if we go to the source here and turn that on, now this is something that I actually find a little bit creepy. So when you turn it on, it'll start. It should start moving around.
Follow me, follow me, follow me. Over here, over here.
We're in the wrong section here. Okay, so now it hopefully should.
It's not doing a thing.
Oh well. Let's try that again. Face tracking utility.
Oh, it's the face tracking. Okay,
Okay, there we go. It didn't. Yeah, we were in the wrong.
Oh,
okay.
It's going to find my face now.
So now it'll start moving around and
I can never escape.
Right. So, but if I cover up your face there, it'll move over to me. So it's actually looking for your face. So it's a little bit more intelligent than it used to be.
Yeah, because it used to be just flesh.
Right. It would look for like a big round section there.
Now I can't see either of us. It's going crazy. Okay.
Right. And the other thing where the CMOS sensor really starts to shine here is if we can have Doug lower the lights here.
Low light is going to be very...
Low light.
Oh, look at that. The CCD just died.
Right, and we can still see us in the CMOS, and we can actually turn that on a little bit better if we go into low light boost. It'll actually improve that quite a bit.
That's not bad at all.
So we're in the dark here, and you can actually see
better than our studio cameras.
Exactly. So the CMOS actually looks like it's definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
So CMOS in conjunction with the low light boost and the face tracking. Logitech actually has one called the QuickCam Orbit MP. It's an update.
I love the Orbit, yeah.
Right, so...
I left it in the hotel room, unfortunately, but...
Yeah, we actually have one behind us.
So you like these better than the Motion, the US, I mean the Creative Labs Motion?
You know, I really like the Creative Labs. If you turn the face tracking off and use the mechanical, turn the zoom off at the very least. There's one neat feature here, which is the panorama mode. So if we click on that, it'll actually go around, find us, and then stitch it all together.
Oh, that's neat. That's kind of cool.
So I mean, maybe not quite so good in low light, but you can see that
it's very interesting.
It grabbed everything behind us.
Interesting features in both, but you like the Logitech for quality
I like
better.
the picture quality on the Logitech better.
Sean Carruthers is Call for Help's resident lab rat. If you want more on these wide-angle webcams, check out our show notes at callforhelptv.com. And if you want Sean to take a look at something, we'd love to hear from you. What's your email?
Sean at callforhelptv.com.
There you go. We'll see you back here in 2 minutes. Stay here. I'd like to keep, if we can, keep some of these on the set.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Thank you, Amber. What can we do for you, Donald?
Well, I recently graduated from university, and one of the gifts I received was a new laptop computer.
Yay!
Yes. So, but I've been using it really on a table, but you know they call it a laptop for a reason, right?
Yeah, sure. You want to use it on your lap?
Yeah. Now, if I do that, is that going to cause any long-term damage to the computer? Am I going to melt something?
Not to the computer, but do you want to have children?
That's the plan at some point.
They actually did a study, I think it was Sweden, where they found that these hot laptops reduced fertility in men. So it isn't a good idea it can get pretty hot. In fact, you know, I just got one of the new Apple MacBooks, which they're fairly hot because they've got these new Core Duos in here, which are pretty hot chips. And any good laptop is going to have feet on it, as you can see this does, which will raise it, even in this case, just a few millimeters over the tabletop. I don't know, you can't really see the feet on it, but they're there. And by doing so, at least get some air underneath here. So when you put it in your lap, those feet are no good. Or, you know, I compute in bed, and so I have a blankie. And there's, you know, that's basically insulating the bottom of it, which you're right, could actually damage the laptop. Things were made worse on the MacBook because apparently some of the white MacBooks actually had a plastic strip blocking the fan exit port there, and there was various firmware issues and all sorts of stuff. But I think as we see more and more powerful chips in these laptops, they are going to get hotter and hotter. Mike solved this problem. He actually, I don't know if he went on eBay, but you can get these on eBay. Yeah. If you just go to eBay and you do a search for cooler pad, you'll see, and you know, they're $8 or $9. These things are active cooling. They actually have fans built into them. And they plug into the USB port. And so not only do they insulate your lap, remember we did that, I don't know if you saw this show, but we did a test where we stuck a thermocouple in Mikey's pants.
I didn't see that.
I think you'd remember it. And we found, what, it was about 10 degrees centigrade.
Definitely, yeah. It was a decent
It made
price
a
drop.
huge difference. So this is from Antec. This is yours. This is how much?
It's around $30 retail, but you can find them on eBay for $15, even $10.
They're not expensive. They're all made in Taiwan. This one's 3FAM aluminum notebook cooler pad. I don't know if you need something so quite elaborate with the fans. I mean, anything that would raise it up would do the job. You know, the X-Men was just in the movie theaters. I noticed that the head of the X-Men, Commander Picard, had a wheelchair with X wheels on it. He probably would like this. This is the X brand laptop stand. Turns into an X, and you put your laptop on it. I use something called the Lapinator, which is not exactly the same. It's got Thinsulate on it, so it's designed more to protect you than to protect the laptop, although you see it has these little rubber pads on it. So the Thinsulate protects you. The rubber pads raise the laptop up, put it actually at a slightly better angle for viewing and typing, and use the laptop's own cooling capability. Most well-designed laptops will have sufficient cooling capability as long as there's some air going underneath it. So if you really want to get crazy, you can get these little fan devices.
Looking at one now, it's about $4. It's about $3 on eBay.
Yeah, the eBay, they're really cheap. You know, I think that's probably I mean, certainly that's going to do the job, big time. I don't know if you need something with fans in it, but it's certainly if you're worried about overheating. And if you read the instruction manual on almost any laptop, they'll say, make sure there's some air underneath.
I can't remember who came up with this idea, but someone said using a thick romance novel underneath the back end of it raises up a little bit
tilts it up.
and gives it enough heat and ventilation so it circulates air much better.
That's exactly
so you can
what
use,
I do. I actually put a paperback underneath if I'm doing it in bed.
Yeah.
If like Matt Harris, one of our producers, if you're a hockey fan, you just put some hockey pucks underneath there. That'd do the job.
I've got a couple of books laying around actually. That I'm gonna give that a shot.
Yeah, and hockey pucks are good because they're nice hard rubber and
they're not gonna melt as easy.
They're not going to melt, and mainly the real idea is just keep some air underneath here. Most laptops now have fans. The days when a laptop didn't have a fan are long gone. Make sure you keep, look for where the ventilation ports are. On this, we've got 2 vents in the back. Make sure you keep those clear because that's where the air is going to go out.
A couple in the back and a couple in the bottom on mine.
Exactly. These are on the Mac are intake ports, and then the outtake, I believe, I may be wrong, is actually underneath here. In the hinge for where the screen is. So if you got to keep those clear. That was the mistake they made. They left a piece of plastic in the shipping, and then people didn't know it was there, and it was actually blocking the port.
I think the firmware update they did actually fix some of that. But
it did on the MacBook Pros. It did. Is that what you got? A MacBook Pro?
It's a compact laptop. It's not as advanced as the MacBook.
No, firmware controls when the fans go on, at what temperature, and how much they run. There's a downside to it. The more the fans run, the louder the laptop is. Some people don't like that. So companies try to balance it with keeping the laptop reasonably cool without annoying the users.
Right.
And often.
About this. I found it in Business 2.0, which is a great magazine.
You've heard of people who buy old houses, fix them up, and sell them for a great profit. Just happened in Toronto, in fact. Guy bought a house for I think $3 million, sold it for $6.7 million. I understand that when he signed the deal, he went to Monaco for the Grand Prix to celebrate. I mean, that's a lot of money. You double your money. Can you do the same with a website?
I don't know. Wow, Leo, you just said expectations for all the web
designers. Well, maybe not
here.
millions, but tens
but you
of
can,
thousands.
And that's really neat. So this article that was in Business 2.0 is about a young guy. He's 20 years old, and what he did is he bought a website called 411hype.com that was advertised on a site called SitePoint, and he bought it for about $1,000. And
so it was an existing site.
It was an existing
but it
site.
Just was kind of
Someone was
dormant.
selling the domain name. They hadn't really done anything with it. So he fixed it up, and then he put it back on SitePoint, and he sold it for $13,500.
Well, that's great.
It's really cool.
He more than doubled his money, right?
He more than doubled his money. So this site, SitePoint, is really good for anyone who wants to go in and be able to buy domains, find people to help them with their websites, or if you're a web designer or developer, to advertise your services, to do, fixer-uppers, to do all this stuff. It's fantastic.
It's a whole new business.
It really is.
And there are a lot of web designers who are underemployed who could do this for a living.
They could do it for a living. And the neat thing about SitePoint, especially for our audience, is it was started by a Canadian and an Australian many years ago. So it started in 1997. And
it's been around a long time.
It's been around a long time. And just recently, they've been named one of the top 250 websites overall. So that's how popular they've become, just in terms of the marketplace, the online marketplace for this type of work. So let's take a look at it, and we'll show what it does. And it does a ton of stuff. As I mentioned off the top of the show, it reminds me of sort of like a Craigslist, but it is for people in the web design and development community. So you can see it's a SitePoint.com marketplace. It's just SitePoint.com. They have contests, so if you want to get someone to design a logo for you, you can submit what you want, and then people will reply to that. You can sell your site, you can sell your domain, you can sell your design templates that you build.
That's a good business, too. People design templates.
Great business.
Yeah.
You can find people to hire. You can advertise your job, jobs that you have come up within your company. There's web hosting deals and all that type of thing. So let's take a look at a couple of things they also offer, because there's just so much here.
Well, there's some educational
some educational stuff, and the educational stuff is really, really good. So this is HTML and CSS and absolute guides for beginners, and what you can do is you can go in and get great tips in terms of how to start building your own website, and it's really well done. They have a lot of web design and development professionals working for them. A really nice tutorial here that people can check out if they're interested in building their site. But for the most part, what SitePoint is known for is the marketplace, so really the forums where people are submitting requests. This is a neat form or a question that someone had put on who has a site called funnyburger.com, and they said, listen, I have $100 for a logo for Funnyburger. So let's see see if you can design a funny logo. So the person from the U.S. has submitted what they need, the full requirements. They're saying the prize money is $100. It has information. The logo should display a hamburger, a cheeseburger, have the text "Funny Burger" on it. Should have some personality.
$100 isn't much, though. Did he get any takers?
Oh, yeah. Now look at what people came back with, and this is where I get really excited. So here's one of the designs.
Boy, $100 for that is great.
Isn't it beautiful? And the people are smart who are doing this, because you can see there's a watermark in the back of this, so someone can't just copy and borrow it.
Yeah.
So you have to buy it. So he's come back and done this. Now it keeps going. So, and then the guy who posted initially, Sammy, he's posted to Sammy who designed this. He said, you know, I want you to try some different color schemes. And there's really a community being built here. And here's another design.
I like that.
Yeah, another
There's
design.
so many talented people.
There really are. And here's yet another one. Here's more. So
$100?
I cannot believe it. I know. I looked through this and I thought, this is just
Do you know
really
how much it costs to get a good logo?
I mean, I've worked at design agencies before, and to do something like this, I mean, you could charge thousands of dollars. Really, that's what they would do. They would do a whole branding and audit and that type of thing. Yep. So they've done a really nice job of that. So that's one example of why the site is so great. You can also go in if you're interested in selling your site. Now, this is kind of neat for people who, like Mikey here, who has bought a bunch of different domain names and wants to offer them up for sale. You could go in and you could say, I have a bunch of websites for sale. You can put a price on them, even if it's, you know, $10 just to make a little bit of money, or $100. Or what you can do is like...
Because Mike's got nakedmike.com. He has not yet used it.
I know. He could probably sell that for at least $100.
I think it's worth a lot of money.
He could. So
yeah.
What people are doing in this form is really saying that, you know, hey, I have this website that I've built and or not built. I have it. I own the domain name, and I'm putting it up for sale. So it's similar to what this guy has done in this article in Business 2.0. He said, you know, hey, I've completely fixed up this website. I've designed it, and also he's increased the number of unique visitors, and he has stats for all that. Puts it out there and offers it up for people to buy it.
So when he bought it for $1,000, it was getting about 1,000 uniques a day. He pumped that up to about, does it say here? It looks like 7,000.
I think.
So he increased it by 7 times, but he made $12,500 by doing so. He 12-timed his money.
And supposedly this kid is doing this all the time. So you can imagine if you have any design and development skills and you want to really just play around with those skills and be able to do something useful, I think it's a great idea to go into SitePoint, buy a domain, or if you already have one, build up a site, try to get some traffic to it, put it out for sale.
Why aren't we doing this?
I know. It's a great little business.
You know, that's what contractors have done for years. You know, if you can't get enough work, okay, we'll buy a house, we'll fix it up, and we'll sell it.
And the nice thing about SitePoint is that the community exists online. So I'm sure there's people all over the web who have tried to do this, but SitePoint has kind of,
you know, a central
they've had that sort of tipping point where it's at the point where everybody is going to it. It's international, and so the numbers are really, really big, and they've created an excellent community, and it's also great for anyone who wants to build a website who has no design skills, because you can go on like this guy did about the logo and say, hey, I need a logo. I have $250, and then you don't need to deal with all of the, you know, dealings of working with an agency or someone who's more expensive, and you can just put it out there, and you can preview some of the submissions as well. So it's a really neat way to get some creative feedback from really a global audience.
Very interesting what's happening in this world. I mean, I think for instance, you know, instead of, I'm thinking of my kids, if they learn some web design skills, instead of having a job flipping burgers in high school, they could make a little money designing websites and selling them.
Well, it's like that kid who called us the other day, and he was doing 2 websites.
12 years old.
12 years old, that allowed him, I think, to buy a new computer.
Yeah, he got an iMac.
He got a new iMac, and so you have kids out there who are true entrepreneurs who are going online, and they're learning, and they're doing great stuff. So instead of maybe watching TV every night, they're just building sites, selling them,
well, the
or
other thing
offering
I
other
like
services.
is you don't have to live in a big city anymore. You can be living in the Arctic Circle. You could be living, you know, anywhere. As long as you have internet access, you're a participant. You're there. You're doing it.
And if you're good, you can showcase your stuff, and people will learn about you. You know, if you're a good designer and use something like SitePoint, and you put your work out there, you can imagine. You know, I'm going to look at some of those logos that people did, and you know, maybe we need a new logo for Command N or something like that, and you could put it out there, and the responses will be pretty overwhelming.
We did that
for
Twit. We asked for logos. We had a kind of a contest, and I got literally hundreds of submissions, and the winner was a woman who was re-entering. She's middle-aged. She was re-entering the workforce as a graphic designer. She did a brilliant design, Dorothy Yamamoto, and now is getting a lot of work as a result of it. And it's just exciting. Anybody can, if you have the desire, the skills and you want, or even just want to get the skills, there's really opportunity out there.
And there's
I love
tons of
that.
opportunity for anyone of any age, so that's what's kind of neat. So
There's no barriers, no
sitepoint.com,
boundaries.
have to try it out.
Yeah, neat. For more about buying and selling web goods or just, this brave new world of web fixer-uppers, visit callforhelptv.com. And I have a feeling now the entire control room is deserted as people rush to SitePoint to find new careers. Let's see, is there anybody left in the control room? We'll see. We'll be right back.
9, 8, 5.
Hey, there's our audio patch. There's the audio room. Where is he? Where is he?
3, roll commercials, 2.
There's
1.
Greg, fade to black.
Time for a Google Calendar tip of the day. Here's how you can add your friends' calendars to your own Google Calendar if they're signed up with a Gmail account. All you have to do is go into the calendar settings, click on Add Calendar, click Friends Calendar, and then you can enter their email address to try to view their calendar. And now we have another caller. We have Michael on the line from Clinton, North Carolina.
Thank you, Amber. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Leo.
How are you today?
How are you, sir?
I am very well. Having
Well,
a great
great.
time in beautiful Toronto, a summer day in Toronto.
Oh, yeah. I'm down in Wilmington, North Carolina today for a conference.
Oh, that's great. I love North Carolina. I go to Raleigh-Durham fairly frequently for business, and it's a great area.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What
Well,
can I do
have a
for you?
question for you.
Yes, sir.
I've been downloading Photoshop TV.
Yes.
And I want to know if I can do your show the same way, because I contacted DirecTV, and they do not have your show.
They took us off in the U.S.
Yes, and I
Those
missed it.
sons of guns, and I'm glad you missed it. Thank you, Michael. Well, I have some very good news for our U.S. viewers. We were on G4, as you know. They took us off G4 in December of last year, and we've been looking for a place to put the show, because we know we have a lot of fans in the U.S. who right now can't see it. You can see the show here in Canada, you can see it in Australia on the How To Network, but you can't see it in the U.S., which has bugged me. So we've done a deal with Google Video, and you can now see the show on Google Video. Now, if you go to callforhelptv.com, there'll be a link there. This starts June 7th, so by the time you see this show, it's on.
Right.
Or you could go to Google Video and do a search for Call for Help. Now, this will not be like Photoshop TV, I'm sorry to say, because Photoshop TV is free. It's a podcast, and we're not going to do this for free. We're actually going to charge people for it. It'll be 99 cents an episode, but the good news is they'll be very high quality. They'll be available easily from Google TV. We'll offer it in a variety of different formats. We'll have it in, as I'm doing now, you'll be able to watch it right on the Google page, but you'll also be able to download it in AVI, MPEG-4, or even Sony PSP format if you want to watch it on your portable player.
Well,
99 cents an episode. You have it in iTunes right now, which is really handy with Photoshop TV. You just subscribe and it downloads. This will not be in iTunes compatible because you have to pay for it. We can't just give you a feed. There will be an RSS feed on the page so you can see when there's a new episode, but they will not be downloaded automatically. You'll have to go to Google Video and buy it.
Right. 99 cents is cheap.
I think that's a good deal.
Yeah,
and
excellent
the
deal.
good news about doing it that way is every show will be on there, and it's commercial free, right, Mike? We're going to take the commercials out.
Absolutely.
You'll just be getting the content of the show. You can save it forever on your hard drive, on your PSP, on your iPod. It'll play on an iPod or on iTunes as well. So if you're a Call for Help fan, this will only be in the U.S. because we don't want to undercut How To Channel in Australia or Tech TV in Canada. But in the U.S., which is where you are, Michael, you'll be able to watch this on, I'm so happy, on Google Video. So callforhelptv.com. Check that out starting June 7th. Okay, Michael?
Okay. All right. I do appreciate it. And I started watching you in 98, I think it was.
That's when we started.
Yes, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, I think you'll like these new shows we've been doing in Canada. We've got Amber and Mike and Sean, a great crew. It's a little, it's kind of like the old Call for Help, but it's also kind of like the old Screensavers. We've kind of mixed the two together. So there's a broad variety of information. We do a lot of Linux help and stuff like that, too. So.
Well, you helped me, from 98 to now, you helped me start my career.
Really?
Yeah,
what do you do?
I knew nothing about a computer in 98, and now I am a network specialist for my local county government.
That's music to my ears, Michael. Thank you for sharing that. That's so great. Congratulations.
We do appreciate it, and hopefully this will fill that void that we've been needing around here.
I'm so glad. Google Video.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Take care. Isn't that a nice
Bye-bye.
story when that he didn't know anything about computers and now he's a network administrator? Hey, a question for you. Do you constantly have to visit the same sites, 3 or 4 sites over and over again each day? You know, kind of like a beat check where you check them. Wouldn't it be nice if they were, you know, instead of having them in your head, you could actually have them on your desktop so that they're always there. Mike has a free file for you that'll fill your day with floaty bubbles of your favorite sites.
Exactly, and it's called Bubbles.
Bubbles.
And what it does is if you look down on my taskbar at the very bottom of my screen, you'll see that we have a number of logos. You've recognized them.
I recognize
right?
those.
Do you see those little ones? There's the Amber Mac, and then there's the Leoville, or that's a Call for Help wiki actually, and that's Twit, and then there's mine. So what this program does is it creates websites in tiny little square bubbles. So you can quickly launch and close these windows very quickly. So I just checked on Twit, no Twit for you, this one. So I close it down. It stays down there, minimized on there.
So if there are sites you check all the time, this is a great idea.
Yeah, not to mention that, but also Google Calendar and other applications that dynamically change, it'll pop up and tell you.
Refreshes it.
Gmail will say, you have new email in your Gmail account. So
it's
really
free,
fast, really easy.
It's easy. Bubbles. And you can get more information about it by going to callforhelptv.com.
That's correct.
Bubbles Lazazara. That's what we're calling it from now on. Coming up, Mike's going to be back to show us about wikis and how you can actually use one to help organize your life in new ways. But first, organize your thoughts to the next tech quiz of the day. What is the code name for Mozilla's calendar program? Was it the Thunder program, the Downpour code, the Lightning project, or rain showers? We'll be right back with you. I have a feeling it has something to do with the weather. Right back with the answer right after this. Welcome back to Call for Help. Before the break, we asked you the code name for Mozilla's calendaring application. I'm thinking, I don't know, but I'm thinking it's got to be the Lightning project, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? No, it was Lightning, because they had Thunderbird, right? That's their email. Lightning is their calendar. Is that almost out?
I think so. I think it should be up fairly soon. It's at least in beta. I've downloaded it and used it a little bit.
Online makes sense for a calendar. In fact, online is a great place to store and organize data, but sometimes you want that kind of online capability on your desktop. And you've got some suggestions for people who want to put a wiki on their desktop.
Definitely. Well, we use a wiki on Call for Help, and we've talked about wikis before on
I'm a wiki
air.
fan, as you know.
I really like wikis, and I've gotten really used to the format.
It's a website or a web page you can edit yourself easily.
Yeah, very easily. And so there are you can use online services to do it, but then you may not know. You may have to pay for hosting if it's a separate one, or you might have to pay for extras. So why not have it directly on your computer if you have access to your computer most of the time? So I'm going to show off a couple little quick programs. I'm going to mention WikiDpad. This is a Windows program. I'm not going to show it off, but it's a free program, and it does exactly what the rest of the programs do, which allows you to create wiki pages within your computer.
So it's a notepad, but it has wiki. So what makes it wiki-like?
It makes it so you can easily add in, for instance, links to other pages, so other wiki pages on your computer.
Anything that is what they call camel case, which is an intercapped word, a word with an uppercase letter in the word, becomes a link automatically.
Yeah, and you can also put brackets around it, which makes it a link as well.
Forces it to be.
And there's a number of other ways of doing it as well.
So then when you save that page, you'll see those as links. You click on them. If there's nothing there, it opens a new page that you can add
Exactly.
data to.
And you can also add in pictures and music and all those other kinds of things, to both online and offline. So WikiDpad does all those things.
That's for Windows.
That's for Windows. So now here is the Mac kind of version of it. It's called VoodooPad.
This is a great little program.
This is a great program. It's both available in a free version called VoodooPad Lite and a paid version, which is about $30. And all you do is, so I did one about the Call for Help website, but let's talk about the wiki. Let's say I want to put a link to the wiki. Let's see if it will do it like that. No, it won't. Let's do.
So that's one of the things is you get used to the syntax of wikiing. You get underlined it. That means it's a link.
It kind of made this weird underline under there, right?
Yeah,
so
because you put a capital K.
Exactly. So I'm going to click on it, and it's going to say write about the wiki here. So it automatically created another page for you that you can now add information. So you can.
It's free form. It's unstructured, but there's hyperlinks back and forth to everything.
Exactly. So now I can put information about this, and it creates a page automatically. Cool. Now the last thing I want to talk about is this. The one I really like, and it's called InstaWiki, but it requires a little bit of legwork to get installed on the Mac.
Because it uses Ruby.
It uses Ruby, and while the Mac has Ruby installed on it natively, it's not the correct version.
So you're using this to keep track of your projects.
Yeah, exactly. So I have this for my work projects here, and you can see that I have here, let's go into our Call for Help Shoot Week here, and you can see I put in a number of information to organize different things I'm doing today.
Now, web links are automatically clickable, but you can make any text clickable by bracketing it.
Exactly. I'm just going to scroll on the bottom page and click edit here, and this is the same.
So
as
every page has an edit button.
Everyone has an edit button. You can also see changes that you've made to it. So
That's
if you
what I
roll
like.
back.
You can always go back in time to previous versions.
Yeah. So you can see in this one, I've made a number of notes in here, and you can see how I've easily changed the text to red by just putting bracket color, colon, and then the color, and then close bracket. It couldn't be easier. On the web, you have to type in, the web safe code and stuff like that. It's a pain sometimes. Making things bold is simple. You just put 2 stars, one in front of it, one after it. And it does exactly the same thing.
That's what happens is people get used to editing text in Wiki, and they want to do it all the time.
Exactly. And so I have this running on my computer, and I have it just using as a way of organizing my thoughts, because Amber's made it sound like in previous segments that I'm a little bit disorganized sometimes. I'm not the most organized person.
He is organized.
But I am now the most organized person in the universe.
This is called InStiki, I-N-S-T-I-K-I. It is Instant Wiki is what it's short for. And you do have to do Ruby, but you have to set up instructions on our website.
Yeah, definitely. And it's well worth it. It's very easy to use. And
do you prefer this over Voodoo Pad?
I do. It's something about the fact that it's in the title bar, so I've always got access to it, no matter what program I'm in, no matter what. It's always up there for me. And
now, it's not on the web. This is on your system only.
This is on your system only, and it's kind of private, so therefore you don't have to worry about anyone else seeing it, or if you know me.
Your secret diary in here?
My secret diary in here. My
Mikey's deep, dark thoughts.
Do you really want to know those?
Take over the world.
Once again. Yeah. So anyhow, it's a great little program. All these 3 programs are available. Two of them are free, and the Voodoo Pad, you can get the light version, which is free, and paid version.
I'm gonna have to play with this.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a big Wiki fan.
I like them.
I'm Wikiing the world.
I found myself typing in Word documents with
Pretty soon you start using
Wiki formats, right? I've been putting the cases around it, and it's like, oh, well, actually, no, I can't do that.
I can't do that.
No.
For the links you saw, how to do it, visit Mike's show notes. That's online at our website, callforhelptv.com. And as always, if you have ideas for Mike,
they can email me at mike@callforhelptv.com.
There you go. We'll be back with some final words right after this.
Computer.
Yay!
Yeah, well, yeah, yay.
Yay, yay. Go team.
And I purchased a Zone Alarm.
Okay.
And it seems okay.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add Nod 32.
I'm so glad Steve Gibson's here. But anyway, we'll keep talking. Okay, so you bought a software firewall, but you'd like to add a antivirus, which is as you should.
And I wanted to know if the 2 conflicted in any way.
Zone Alarm is not which Zone? It actually depends on which one you bought. Did you buy the Zone Alarm Pro? Which one did you buy?
Yes, the Pro.
Okay. That has some email scanning capabilities. So that could conflict. Anytime you have 2 security products running in memory, there's always that potential. I'm not a big fan of running Zone Alarm, to be honest with you, because I think I know you already bought it, but it slows your system down a little bit. Now, Zone Alarm has an antivirus. If you have the antivirus, you shouldn't buy Nod 32 and the antivirus, because it's funny, because two anti-spyware programs, no big deal. 2 antivirus problems, bad, they fight. Probably because they're trying to do the same thing. It's the resident software that's the problem. If you had 2 antiviruses that didn't run in memory, that weren't scanning anything automatically, but you just ran them as scanners, that'd be fine. It's that automatic email check in the background. And that's what worries me about Zone Alarm Pro, is it does have what it calls email security. Now, I'm not sure if that means it's online scanning or not. I found out about Zone Alarm from this fellow over here, Steve Gibson, so I probably should ask him. Before we go to Steve, though, I'm going to just say see, quarantine suspicious attachments to help defend against unknown viruses. That's going to conflict with Nod 32. What I would say is I don't generally recommend software firewalls. I recommend a router, which makes a very good firewall, and then antivirus and anti-spyware software, if you feel the need. And most people should. Steve? What do you think?
Those features, first of all, I completely agree with everything you said. When you have multiple programs all resident at the same time, you'll find that your computer is laggy. It is
we
actually
found that with Zone Alarm. It slows down your computer 20 or 30%.
It's a substantial overhead on machines. Now, you can turn those features off that you don't need in Zone Alarm if you want to, for example, use NOD 32 and then still use Zone Alarm as an outbound blocking firewall.
Which is not a bad idea.
Which is still a good thing to have. Now, you and I, Leo, we use our routers and we keep track carefully on over what's going on our machine, but any personal firewall does give you control over which programs are able to talk out onto the internet. So that's certainly a valuable feature, especially since he already owns Zone Alarm Pro.
Right.
So he could turn off the things. I mean, the things that he's already got duplicate functions from on another program, because you do wonder if they're both on and they're both going to try to quarantine.
Yeah, who wins?
Exactly. Who's going to get it?
Who wins?
There might be a tug of war over the file attachment.
It's something in programmers call a race condition, where you have two things trying to do the same thing at once, and who wins is unknown. You can get just weird behavior. So you paid $50 for Zone Alarm. Keep the Zone Alarm.
And it's a good personal firewall. I mean, it's one of the better personal firewalls.
Just turn off all the stuff except for the firewalling, the outbound firewall protection. You know, it's good to have. I mean, it's got a lot of, you know, they've actually added some interesting anti-spyware stuff, which I would leave on.
Yep.
And
NOD32 is a great AV program.
It's my personal favorite AV because it's very lightweight, it's very effective. It also has some anti-phishing and anti-spyware capabilities. But again, I don't think those are going to cause a conflict. I would get some anti-spyware too, Bruce, like Microsoft Defender. And boy, at that point, you've got the most buttoned-down machine I can imagine.
And it's a new machine, so he wants to keep it pristine and not let anything, and not allow any crud to creep in.
And you're right to do that, because the truth is, and Steve and I both had this experience, it is far better to prevent infection than to try to remove it after you've gotten infected. In fact, a lot of spyware just is unremovable.
Well, and formal security policy says if anything ever gets in your system, you will never again know for sure that it's clear, because you don't know what something loose in your system has done.
That's a good point.
So, I mean, like, real policy says you format and start over if anything ever does get in that you don't want.
That's a really good point. Okay, Bruce?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So keep the Zone Alarm, just strip it down to the basic firewall stuff, and you'll be fine. All right, take care. Thank you, Steve. It's good. It's so nice when we have Steve here. You just stick around, would you, please? Just don't go home. Trying to figure out how to combine your love of Excel with a class project or two? I'll tell you, Excel in the classroom is wonderful. Mr. Excel is here to show us a few fun projects for students when Call for Help continues. Stay here. Before we break, ARPANET. What the heck is it? Our quiz question of the day from Next Tech. Is it a Wi-Fi network technology, a forerunner to the net, a music networking system, or a new phishing technology? Should that be spelled with a PH?
Concentration. Jeanette Lee has been devouring female and male opponents in professional pool since 1993.
That is just sexy. A woman that can play pool is really sexy. I think there's something hot about any woman that could kick your ass at anything.
It's a lot of fun. I'm very competitive. I love playing pool. I love beating guys at anything, really. The Black Widow. I got the Black Widow nickname because these guys at the pool room used to make fun of me. They said that I seemed very sweet until I got to the pool table. And I tend to lure my opponents to the table and then eat them alive.
Jeanette has won every major title on the Women's Pro Billiards Tour and was named one of the sexiest athletes in the world by ESPN.
I've won many, many 9-ball tournaments, but we also had the World Trick Shot Championship. I won that. And I also hold the world record for consecutive balls run in straight pool for women, 154, which was awesome. 10 years ago, there were very few women in the pool rooms that you could find playing pool or playing pool seriously. And now you can go to almost any major billiard club and find women taking it very seriously.
With all that competition, how does the Black Widow stay in play?
I stay sharp by practicing all the time. Just call every man I know and say, step up to the table, man. I need some action.
Next time you rack them up down at the corner bar, watch your back. You could be the next victim.
I love hearing a man say, yeah, she's pretty good, but she can't beat me. I'm like, rack 'em.
Dangerous places can get you killed. And in the early 1900s, there was a woman who killed people without even knowing it. She earned her nickname.
Movable, but those are going to be a pain to get back in. Let's see here. We can take this flathead. I don't want to pry those too hard. It seems like the base will start to come up there. There we go. All right. So that gives you a good look at the board right there. Obviously, this is the 4 gigabyte chip right there. That's the Samsung memory right there. That's a 4 gigabyte, like little double-sided solid state memory. Here's the little lithium-ion battery. So come, a year and a half out when you need to replace it, this is what you're going to be replacing. And then the circuit board itself is actually quite small. You can see a little bit of a design change in the Nano. This is the where the headphones go into. So now actually you don't plug the headphones into the top. They go right into the base of the unit along with the dock adapter right there. So pretty straightforward, connected directly to this color screen. We could pry the color screen out. It looks like you can pull the color screen out, but we're actually going to continue to use this now. I want to keep it in a working state, so we're not going to yank that out. So we're going to go ahead and put this back together, and hopefully it'll work. So there you have it, an inside look at the iPod Nano. 1.5 ounces, 14 hours of battery life, and an amazing color display. I've only played with it for a couple hours, but I'd buy one. I highly recommend you check it out. That's it for this edition of Subsystem. I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for watching.
You've worked in traditional television before?
Yeah, I spent over 5 years at Tech TV.
Wow. Now, how is this different?
Tech TV in San Francisco. Well, long story. This is different because, well, right now there's a lot less bureaucracy because, I mean, it's a startup company, and we don't have to deal with, well, even the FCC. We also, it's simple enough that anyone can create a video, create a show, and put it out. The same way as anyone can put up a website, anyone can do a podcast, anyone can do a video podcast, a vlog, or whatever you want to call it. So basically what we've done is we're just kind of an organized network of video podcasts, vlogs, whatever you want to call them. We call them shows. Sometimes we call them TV shows. It's not TV, depending on what your definition of TV is. But we have original programming that we produce and distribute, and the only thing that differentiates us from an individual doing that is that, we have certain standards, and then we want to meet those standards and have a cohesive network of shows and put those out under the Revision 3 heading.
Well, that's one of the issues right now, I think, is a lot of people don't know what to call these shows. Is it a web video show? Is it a web TV show? Is it a video podcast? Is it a vidcast? Is it a vlog? Who knows? There's a bunch of different names for them. What do you think people like, though, about the idea of distributing video online?
Well, what they like about distributing video online is it's democratizing the fact that anyone can do it, and that it also means that eventually I think that everyone will be getting everything that they see, everything they watch through the internet. So right now I can be a network and distribute video, but so can the likes of ABC, CBS, NBC, all those people. They can use their traditional means, which are still very strong. If everything shifts over, they can keep creating the same shows with the good budgets and the great viewership and distribute those online. So the fact that the internet is what lets everyone do it versus, like, if I want to be broadcast, well, there's only so many spectrum, so much of a spectrum for that, or a cable channel, there's only so much space on, like, a network from Rogers or from Comcast or from DirecTV.
So really it's accessibility at the end of the day in terms of how many people can get it, how easy it is to kind of put out there and reach the masses. Yeah. So you have a bunch of shows on Revision 3. A lot of them, I love a lot of the stuff that you guys do. What's in store for the future? In store for the future? Well, we've got, one of the things we're doing is we're redoing our entire website. We're giving ourselves a new logo. And then along with that, we're going to give ourselves some more defined production schedules of the existing shows that haven't been released with consistency or with some kind of a schedule. And then we've got a few other extra shows. We're coming up with a show that's all about digital art. If you ever watched Bob Ross on PBS, who did oil on canvas type of stuff, we're going to do that except using Photoshop type of stuff. And we got a great guy named Burt Monroy who's going to be hosting that show. Yeah, and so we're really excited about that. We're going to be launching probably an indie music show, kind of an indie art show that includes indie music. We've got a comedy type of show called Mysteries of Science Explained coming out. Really short spot. Has nothing to do with science, but it answers scientific questions in a funny way. We do have an episode of The Broken coming out. People ask us. We always promise it, and then they get really angry that we don't follow through. I promise we'll follow through. We really, really, really will. What else? So lots of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff. It's really exciting, and so we're going to do our best to make the shows as good as possible, and to obviously to generate as much interest and get as much viewership as possible. And of course, if anyone else has anything they want us to do, it's the internet. There's a lot of interaction, and anyone can ask for whatever they want or do whatever they want, provide feedback, etc.
All right. Well, thanks so much, David. We'll make sure that people check out all of your shows on Revision 3. And coming up after the break, we have an excellent product review from the guys from DV Gear Talk.
Science.
Hi, Guy Cochran here today, and we're taking a look at the HHB Flash Mic. This is a portable recorder that is actually a microphone built by Sennheiser along with recorder all in one device. This replaces the HHB Portadat. This was a two-prong system. One would be the actual recorder, which was this big heavy device that you would carry inside of a nice pack, and then you would have the MD46 from Sennheiser. And I used to actually use that device, and that system was a little bit wonky to carry around, especially if you needed to be running around and you had to make sure that your XLR cables were properly seated in, and also the transfer time on that device was real time. This guy right here, it's 90 times real time. So you just hook up the USB cable to your Mac or PC and you can begin to download all of your tracks. And at full quality, full resolution, 48 kilohertz sound, this unit is going to give you 3 hours of record time. Now the batteries last 6 hours. It's operated by 2 AA batteries. And I found over the weekend, just kicking this thing around for some testing, that even after an hour and a half of recording, my batteries were still completely full. It has a killer little interface on the top that allows you to go in and make some adjustments so you can record even in a lower resolution format. It's a MPEG-2 layer 1 audio at 32 kilohertz will give you 18 hours of record time on this device. Pretty amazing. It also has some software that you can plug into your PC or Mac, and you can take additional controls, allowing you to do things like set up presets. So if you're recording, say, indoors versus outdoors, you can actually go in and have presets that are designed for each of those. One of the things that I might adjust is the high-pass filter. Sometimes I'll leave that. If it's, say, for instance, on a microphone stand, I'll turn the high-pass, which is the bass roll-off. That basically will cut anything below 100 hertz and mute it down. So I noticed that for wind noise or for handling, you'll want to turn the high-pass filter on so it does do that low-frequency cut. It also has headphone, an 1/8" mini plug headphone out on the bottom of the unit so you can monitor your audio and you can adjust those levels as well. It's a really cool device. I'm hoping to see a lot of reporters picking this unit up and giving up that system of recorder and microphone as separate devices. So this is my previous location sound recording system. We have the Edirol R1, which records directly to compact flash, and then I was using the Rode NT4, and you can see that I also have this 10-foot cable. So I always had to remember to have a fresh 9-volt battery here and then a couple AA's in here. Now this guy does suck down the batteries, and this one has 6 hours of recording time. So out in the field, I mean, I'm glad to be done with this cord. On the top, you'll notice that you have 3 buttons. The first one is for record, second one is for play, and the last one is for menu and also for stop. The LCD screen on the front right now you can see is flashing no file because we do not have any tracks on here. But the second that we go ahead and press the little record button, you'll notice that it says record on the bottom, and we also get our VU meters. So our VU meters will help us in determining if we're getting audio A and also if we're getting a good level. So you want those levels to be hanging around the halfway level. And right now we have automatic gain control, so the unit is actually adjusting the levels for us on the fly. Now if we press the M, which is the menu button again, you'll notice that it stops and it begins to save. We now have 1 track available. Another cool feature of the HHB flash mic is how convenient it is. How fast can you get to your gear when you need it? If you're wearing a coat with an inside pocket, it's as simple as pulling the unit out, turning the unit on. You'll notice that the LCD lights up, and now you can go ahead and press the record button, and I'm recording. Now let's go ahead and go into the menu, and on the back of the unit you have the scroll wheel. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the back of the unit to scroll down to record mode. In this record mode, you notice that you have linear, 48K, 44, and 32. These are going to be the uncompressed WAV files. You also have MPEG-2 layer 1 at 48, 44, and 32K. Now if we go ahead and select and we go back to the main menu, what you're going to notice is that the unit will now display the duration as 18 hours available, 18 hours, 24 minutes, and 30 seconds available. Now to play something that we've already recorded, we can just press the play button and you can see that the unit will begin showing the duration. You can also press the play button again and it'll pause. You can also rewind and fast forward by using the up and down clicker on the back. So just how good does this unit sound? You're listening to it right now. This is the HHB Flashmark DRM85 omnidirectional microphone, 1 gigabyte model, and you're listening to it facing pretty much dead on. Even if I begin to turn to about a 45-degree angle, 90-degree angle, now you're still hearing my voice, and if I go ahead and turn it to a full 180 degrees, you're still going to be able to hear me. And let's go ahead and just turn it all the way back around to on axis, and this is what it sounds. And you don't even need to have it this close. I mean, you can be an arm length away. It's meant to be a reporter's mic.
For more tech tips from DV Gear Talk, visit dvcreators.net. As you can see behind me, this is part of the Lion Street Pride Project, which is an initiative to keep all of this area looking really beautiful and keeping all of the steps looking really, really nice. Now, I've still convinced George and Matt that we are going to the top of all these stairs to get a view of the city, so make sure you stick around till the end of the show. And coming up after the break, we're going to check in with a video podcast from Japan, and the creator of this podcast is going to show us how to do our own green screen.
Accounting by Sage Pro 2006 makes bookkeeping for Canadian small businesses simple. You start with a setup wizard that provides a list of templates that best match your business, which helps streamline managing customers, making sales, and recording revenue. Simply Accounting Pro is designed for growing businesses and is capable of sophisticated accounting tasks when your business is ready. Within Simply Accounting, you can write checks, create invoices, track inventory, pay your employees, and track projects. And its detailed yet easy to understand reporting helps business owners stay on top of finances. The Pro version of Simply Accounting comes with a 2-user license, allowing simultaneous access to data. It also has an advanced inventory system, allowing you to keep track of your inventory items on hand, cost of goods, and outstanding orders. If you have a small business and are still using a shoebox or spreadsheet accounting method, you'll want to have a look at Simply Accounting by Sage 2006.
Welcome back to Torrent. I'm standing in front of the Letterman Digital Arts Center, which is the new home of ILM, as well as Lucas Arts, all owned by George Lucas. George Lucas uses a lot of really interesting effects in all of his movies, including green screen. Well, if you're interested in how green screen works, Nathan Miller from Japan is going to give us some tips.
How you doing? My name is Nathan Miller, and today I'm going to take you through a quick tutorial on how to successfully do the green screen or blue screen effect using Final Cut Pro. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about the tools that you need when you attempt to do this effect. One, you're going to need a camera, of course, a digital video camera. Today I'm going to be working with a Macintosh, and should I apologize to people on PC? No. Final Cut Pro is the program I'm going to be using, and the green screen or the blue screen. Now, I've been doing this for about, 6 months or so, and when I started video blogging, I wanted to narrate my stuff and get the human element, I guess, going. And I went to basically the Kmart of Japan and bought this blue sheet. It's just a bed sheet. And I thought, yeah, it might work, and it did. It worked fine, except at the time I really didn't mind. There were some holes. It just didn't look great. It didn't look very professional, I guess. I bought this blue bow, and I bought these guys. They're just clips, and I hung up the blue sheet in this tatami room, had the camera, and excuse me, yeah, just hung it up like that, and it was behind me, and it worked. It works out just fine, and it's very cheap. It's I'm not making the next episode of Lost, so it just worked. It didn't really have to be like this $50, $65, $100 sheet that I bought. It was like $10. Now here we are in my upgrade, basically. I went to China and I came back and I had some really great footage, and I thought, well, why don't I do this right? So I went to a fabric store and I bought these 2 giant pieces of green felt and the lights too. Altogether, it didn't even go over $100. It was very cheap. The lights, that was just something that I had. The light bulbs are probably the most expensive thing. I think a light bulb was like $15 a piece. They're kind of 100 watt, I think, 100 watt or 22 watt, 100 volt. I'm not too sure which one they are. here we have the green, and I just thumbtacked it in. And this is kind of a problem, but there's ways to get around it. I just haven't messed with it, but it works, and it looks better than the blue sheet. I made these wood poles, basically just threw some nails into the bottom and made it so it can stand up like that. Lighting is very important. And here's the tripod, basically, and I use a Panasonic, Jesus, what is the number on that camera? And you know, it's a digital video camera, and I record to tape, not to SD card or not to memory stick or anything like that. So I set it up, basically, and then I zoom in a bit, and voila. You can see the one little thumbtack, and I need to take care of that. I just haven't had time. It would just be as simple as pulling it out, putting it back in. Now, after I logged and captured, I have the footage right here. And basically there's video on top of video. And here I am setting my endpoints and outpoints. And I'm going to drop this onto the timeline. Voila, there you go. So now I have the video that I'm explaining is on the first video line, and the green screen video is on the top. Going up to the effects, and I go down here to video filters, and I go to key. Key, there's a blue and green screen already set up. Final Cut is just amazing. Now I'm going to take this guy from the viewer, pull it over here, and open the effects tab. Now it's going to be set up. And I go to green, because I have a green background. And now this isn't very tricky, it's just playing with the numbers. Usually a lower number in the top number, I cannot remember what it is. Around something in the color level, 28 or 29 for me. Depending on what your green is like or your blue is like, the number may change. The color tolerance, it's not very professional, but I always go very low. And you got to be careful with this because you can get kind of holes where the lighting might be bad. And we want to get rid of this green outline that makes you look like a ghost. So you're going to play with the edge thin marker and then the edge feather. These two work kind of together to get rid of that ghost looking green that you got going on. Like I said, color tolerance. I keep it low, and as you can tell, I don't have any color on the sides down here. And this also has to do a lot with lighting. Lighting is very important. Once you get it how you want it, and it looks good, check in the timeline to make sure that you have the same consistency throughout, because you might be moving back and forth, and the lighting might change a little bit. And you don't want to have part of your clip looking really good and then you move a bit and there's a big hole in your hat or a big hole in your shoulder or something like that. I use the green suppressor to kind of eliminate that ghost looking like I'm floating. I have this green thing going around. Green suppressor effect is really good. And if you're on a blue screen, the blue suppressor is what you need to use. So I'm in Final Cut, I shrink it down, and I just pull myself either to the right or the left corner, and my magic number is 44. I usually get 44, sometimes smaller, sometimes bigger. And here I am in the corner down here. I tag on some transitions here. What is this? Fade in and out right here, and fade in and out right here. You guys, if you're familiar with Final Cut, you probably know about some of the stuff I'm doing. I don't have time to go through and explain exactly how to use like the canvas and the viewer, but it's not very difficult. Play with it and figure it out. I'm not a professional or anything like that. It's just a hobby that I do. I think we're coming to the end of this in a minute. I hope I helped you out. It was kind of fast, I know, but as you can tell, if you just watch the processing, it's not very difficult. And it's something that people do all the time in studios, on television. And this is how you do it with Final Cut. So here we go, render all, and with a fast machine it could take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour depending on how many effects you throw in there. I'm on an iMac G5 and yeah, it takes a while. Anyhow, that's the tutorial for you. My name's Nathan Miller. Check me out at Bicycle Sidewalk. Thanks for watching.
We're not using any special effects to green screen anything in the background here. Welcome back to Torrent. I'm here at the Palace of Fine Arts in downtown San Francisco, and I'm trying desperately not to get attacked by all these birds. We're going to take a look at a video podcast from Tom's Hardware. Tom's Hardware is a really great website for lots of tech tips and lots of tech reviews. In this segment, they're going to show us how to overclock a Pentium 4 processor using liquid nitrogen. Now remember, whatever you do, don't do this at home. That's not the only neat experiment from Tom's Hardware. In this segment, they're going to show us how you can take your computer and turn it into a coffee maker. can hack Matt's power book to figure out how to get it to wake up in the morning and make coffee. You probably want this back, Matt. Here you go. For more videos from Tom's Hardware, visit tomshardware.com. And coming up after the break, we have our daily dose of trivia. To make it through it, all right. So we have some questions for you, but first we want to take a look at one of your trivia shows, and it's all about the history of Alcatraz, I think.
That's right. That's right.
All
Let's
right,
go for it.
Let's take a look.
Hello and welcome to 88 Slide. Today is Wednesday, May 17th, 2006. It's day 3 of the San Francisco leg of our 2-week road trip. And today we're just across the bay from Alcatraz, the Rock, which housed some of America's most notorious from 1934 to 1963, including mobster Al Capone. My question for you today is, what did the feds finally indict Capone for back in 1931? Was it A, homicide, B, tax evasion, C, forgery, or D, blasphemy? Email or text message me your name, city, state, and answer by 9 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time tonight, and we'll randomly select one correct entry to win a $10 gift certificate to your choice of any one of these stores. And remember to stop by tomorrow because we'll be giving away an iPod Nano courtesy of DealHack.com. Be sure to tell a friend. Now, yesterday we asked you to identify the 1967 music festival, which included the first major American appearance by Jimi Hendrix. The correct response was C, Monterey Pop Festival. And therefore, the $10 gift certificate goes to the randomly selected correct entry from
David Sprinkle from Fort Worth, Texas. He's busting out tonight.
Thanks, Blaine. See you guys tomorrow.
All right, so the host of the show is Rachel. She does a really good job.
She's tied with you for best host out there.
All right, that's a good thing. Good thing you said that. And you do a lot of the writing for the show. How did you guys come up with the concept?
You know, I was working in traditional television, specifically in game shows, and I said, you know what, I want to make a game show and shrink it down to 1 minute. Shrink the budget, shrink the time, shrink everything. And basically, I just kind of came up with the idea. We go out in the field, we shoot episodes, and distribute it hours later. We're having a lot of fun with it.
And so what have you learned along the way of doing this?
I've found out that I guess people in Brazil are really bad in trivia. For some reason, they always seem to get it wrong. But other than that, you know, if you really want to just create your own show, I would just say, just do it. You know, pick up a book on how to, you know, cut on Final Cut Pro or even iMovie. Grab your camcorder and just go out and do it. Each of our episodes costs about $15, and you know, it could be done for even cheaper.
And you do get some sponsors, so I'm very interested in talking to you about this a little bit because there's so many people out there doing really good video stuff online, and they want sponsors. How do you go about approaching your sponsors?
Absolutely. You know, you just saw in this last episode, we had a sponsor there. You know, I would just call, email, say exactly what you have, find out exactly what are the sponsorable elements. Do you have a landing page at the end, or is there a prize given away, or is there a certain segment within your podcast or show that you could, you know, sponsor? So find out what those elements are and really just see who might want to attach themselves to it. And I would just cold call and say, hey, this is what you're doing, get it now because it's the next big thing, and go for it.
So you put together a really nice DVD that you were just showing us at lunch, which is kind of neat. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because I think it's a great idea for anyone who has a video show online.
Yeah, you know, a lot of sponsors wanted to see stuff on tape, and I would always say to them, hey, we have all of our archives online, but of course some of the older suits say, I don't know how to use this stuff, just send me a tape. So I put together a DVD of some of our best, some of our favorite episodes. We give to our sponsors to say, hey, you know, we think this would be a great place for you to showcase your brand.
And what kind of equipment are you guys using? Could you kind of give us a rundown of all that?
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. We're literally using a consumer-level camcorder with a wireless lav, and I cut everything on my G5 Mac at home using Final Cut Pro. It's really slim operation. I wouldn't have it any other way.
And what about some of the challenges that you run into? Because I can imagine it was kind of a grind. There's a lot of work, a lot of production involved. What are some of the challenges?
You know, the challenges are, you know, just coming up with fun and exciting episodes day after day. You know, I'm doing the job of, you know, 10 different people, writer, producer, director, editor, you know, sound guy, camera guy, and it's just a matter of kind of juggling all that. And I need to make sure that, you know, I don't let this thing you know, take it away to another level.
All right, so we're going to make sure that everybody watches the show, but can you tell us what's in store for the future of 88 Live?
You know, we're looking to maybe expand it to some other daily 1-minute trivia challenge. We're thinking about a Spanish-speaking one, a Hindi-speaking one for our friends in the growing country of India, and we just really want to continue developing, you know, exciting shows and get bigger and bigger prizes.
All right, well, thanks so much, Noah.
You got
again.
it. Thank you for having me.
Sorry about the win.
88slide.com.
All right, so make sure we let everybody know. And coming up after the break, we have our torrent tip of the week. Grunt. What is Video Grunt all about?
Video Grunt's about teaching people the basics of digital video. It's all about just telling people what do all these terms mean and what is the technology behind it.
All right, we're going to take a look at one of your segments, and then after that, you're going to give us your torrent tip for the week.
Great.
All right, let's check it out.
In our last program, you'll recall, we introduced the concept of aspect ratio, and we looked at the origins of the 4:3 aspect ratio in particular. In this program, we're going to talk about the other, and I would say more important aspect ratio in digital video, 16:9. Now, why 16:9? Why this particular shape, and why did it go wider? Well, let's trace this one back as well. We'll go back to the history of film, but this time we'll jump ahead a bit to the 1950s and look at the influence of television on this industry. Now, television had been around for a while, but it really wasn't until the post-war prosperity boom and the newly suburbanized middle class that there was a large enough audience who were staying at home and who started to buy televisions in decent numbers. This, of course, took a serious bite out of the movie-going audience, and that made the film industry very nervous. So what followed then was a flurry of invention on the film industry's part to get that audience back. And what better way than to take advantage of these big dark rooms and make the movie picture bigger and better and wider. Now, just as a point of reference, you'll remember in the silent movie era the aspect ratio for film was 4:3 or 1.33. With the advent of sound being added to film in the 1920s, the imaging area was reduced to accommodate for the addition of the soundtrack on the film plane. And this changed the aspect ratio slightly from 1.33 to 1.37. Not a big difference, but it did establish a new standard for film called the Academy Standard. So just so you know, and to avoid confusion, when one talks about aspect ratios for video, the convention is to use the ratio of two whole numbers like 4:3 and 16:9. But in talking about the ratios for film, the convention is to use a decimal ratio like 1.33, 1.85, 2.35, etc. So back to the 1950s, the motion picture industry began to come up with all kinds of new and competing wide film formats with compelling space-age names like VistaVision, Cinerama, and Technorama. There are whole books written on this phenomenon, but we'll just cut to the chase and say that after the 1950s were over, some of these widescreen ratios took hold as standards, thus giving us a wide range of aspect ratios in use in the film industry: 1.37, 1.67, 1.85, 2.20, and 2.35. Now you can see that the relatively vertical 4:3 aspect ratio of television means that there are some serious compromises that need to be made in order to view wide format film on these screens. So when the standards for high-definition television were being hashed out in the early 1980s, it was agreed that a corresponding widescreen format for video should be established as well. Enter Dr. Kearns Powers of the David Sarnoff Research Center in Princeton, New Jersey, a leading research lab on the advancement of television. Dr. Powers took a look at all of the major aspect ratios in popular use and mapped them together as we did here. He then discovered something interesting. If he took a rectangle of a certain proportion and scaled it two different ways, he could encompass both the width and the height of all of the other aspect ratios. That magic rectangle had the proportions of 16 units wide by 9 units high, or 16:9. This discovery was adopted, and 16:9 was set as the new aspect ratio standard for high-definition television. Now, unless you've been living in a cave, you know this shape as well, because 99.9% of all new high-definition flat-screen televisions have a 16:9 display. In Program 4, we'll talk more about widescreen and the technical issues we all have to face when we deal with various and sundry aspect ratios.
All right, so now you're going to give us our tip of the week. We're all very excited about this, and we're going to talk a little bit about lighting. So what's your lighting system for Video Grunt?
Well, when I originally started out, I wanted to go really cheap, so I got some standard old lights from the hardware store, and that's one of the reasons I went black and white. I said, well, I'm going to do this really fast and cheap, and I don't have to worry about color balance, right? Because I'll just use whatever I got, just worry about luminance. But I found I was getting really hot with these lights, and they were taking up a lot of electricity. So I found these lights by Lowell. They're called Ego lights, and they're small little guys. They're like $100 each, and they have compact fluorescents in them, which are sunlight balanced already, and they work really well. Nice soft light, low power, low heat, and I love them.
So what are some of the major problems in terms of lighting when you're working with your video show online or any other type of show? What are some of the things that people are really doing wrong?
I think most people are underlighting. Is the main problem. Is if they're indoors, it tends to get really dark really fast. Usually with video podcasts are shot outside like today, it's a lot easier because you have the greatest light in the world, the sunlight. But I would say for people indoors, try to pump up the light a little bit, but try not to make it obvious either.
So what about shooting outdoors? Because you just mentioned we're outside, it's nice and bright and sunny.
Mhm.
Is there anything to kind of tone down the sunlight? Because I'm feeling, I have to kind of, blink a little bit.
Sunscreen,
Yeah,
yeah.
sunscreen.
Well, I found that there's this really great scrim made by Manfrotto, which is really lightweight, easy to set up with just one C-stand, and it adds a nice clear neutral diffusion to a direct sunlight. So I use that a lot when I'm doing an outdoor shoot. I can't help it if the sun's going to be bright that day.
All right, well, thank you so much for your tip of the week, and I'm sure we'll see lots of other tips on Videogrunt. Where do people
Absolutely.
find Videogrunt?
At videogrunt.com.
And what can we expect in the future from the show?
More interesting things about frame rates, what P means, what I means, all these terms and technologies. I'm going to explain them all for you.
So it's really a great place to start for anyone who wants to create their own video podcast and then submit it to us on Torrent.
Absolutely.
All right, Craig, thanks so much.
Thank you.
How are you feeling after all those steps?
I'm a little bit winded, 250 of them, but once I got up here, I realized it's well worth the view. I think you're right.
It is a beautiful view from up here. I think we should do it a couple more times.
I don't think so. I think I'm going to go to lunch. I can't believe when you lived in San Francisco, you used to do this like every day to stay in shape.
I used to do it quite a bit, but I enjoyed it. It felt good doing all these stairs.
You're absolutely nuts. I think George and I are going to hit a patio and get ourselves a nice drink.
That's probably a good idea. We've had a great time in San Francisco. We've met lots of people. We've seen some really great video podcasts.
Absolutely. If you have a video podcast you'd like us to review,
email us at info@torrentontv.com and we'll check it out. And hopefully if it airs on Torrent, we'll make sure to send you a really cool Torrent t-shirt.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for watching. It's sad to leave the city, but we have to go. And we'll be back next week with another episode.
From a distance.
I heard that.
Now you're on to the second part of a level in which you have a chance to get across the bridge and put a stop to Zhang Li. Follow Carrington's orders and head to ground level. Then pull out the jackal and deal with the first wave of enemies. We found it quite cozy in the back of this hallway where we could welcome the welcoming party. Nice shooting. Now head back to the armory, use the Loctopus, and grab the rocket launcher. Now that's what I'm talking about. Head back to the observation post and destroy the mortar guns to complete the support objective.
Sterling walked you on.
Now you just have to cross the bridge and head for the Coliseum. There are 3 ways to do this. The first is on foot and requires you to blast every bad guy in sight. This is a ballsy approach, but we don't recommend it.
I lost blood sight.
The second tactic is to go under the bridge. Unfortunately, there are lots and lots of embedded bad guys just waiting for you. Nope, don't recommend that either.
He's down.
So how do you cross this bridge when you come to it? Take the path of least resistance. Head up the stairs on the right and use the Loctopus to unlock this ladder. The ladder leads to the rafters where you'll find a handy zip line. I think you know what to do from here. Now, you will encounter enemy resistance even when you take route number 3, but you can outrun most of the pursuit. Since running speed is key here, equip your Magnum and target only those enemies that block your path. Don't get caught up in killing everyone you see, otherwise they'll get caught up in killing you.
He's down.
From the end of the zip line, head through the left section of the base. Just keep the pedal to the metal, follow the path past the 2 destroyed mortar guns, and soon enough, you'll find yourself at this staircase. Head up, take the first left, and that's your exit strategy.
Carrington, I think we're too late.
Okay, enough of that sneaking around stuff. Now it's time to get fast and furious as you flee from the law and the intense need for speed most wanted. We've got the cheats to keep you one step ahead of the cops. The world of illegal video game street racing gets a fuel injection with the release of Need for Speed Most Wanted. Staying true to its racing roots, the goal of this game is to soup up your hoopty using the cash you earn winning races. But in a new turn for the franchise, you have to up your infamy by evading the 5-0s and just generally bringing the ruckus. Now, what we most wanted in Most Wanted was a cheat code that would unlock an awesome secret car. And lucky for us, we found one. To unlock a sweet black Ford GT with custom Castrol decals in the bonus cars section, enter left, right, up, down at the start menu. And if that's not enough cheating for you, check out this little bonus for longtime fans of the series. On the Xbox, PS2, and GameCube, if you have a Need for Speed Underground 2 save file, then when you start a new career mode in Most Wanted, you'll be given an extra $10,000 to play around with. See that? It's easier than buying scratch-off tickets.
Nice pinstripe.
See, I told you you'd outrun those coppers. After the break, we'll take a trip to the Big Apple and then take on a legendary vampire hunter. Stick around. Welcome back to Cheat. Our next undercover sneak peek has you playing as a gritty New York cop working the mean streets. Now, as you may have guessed, this isn't exactly a cushy gig, but we put together a package of cheats that'll help you survive to claim your pension. We'll just leave them in a plain, unmarked envelope behind the trash.
On the streets of New York City, regrets are measured in bullets.
Life in the urban jungle isn't easy. And even the good guys sometimes need some help to survive. Luckily, we've uncovered a few cheats that'll make walking the beat a little easier. Now, everyone knows you can't live the good life on an officer's salary, and there aren't enough shop owners in the city to extort money from.
Take your money and go. Thank you very much.
Instead, go to the map screen on your Xbox and hold down both the right and left triggers. Then hit XX, YX, YX, and you'll see a confirmation of the code. Wow, you just pulled in the same amount of money A-Rod does for successfully fielding a grounder. Now, Marcus spends a lot of time practicing his marksmanship, but even this top cop misses once in a while. To tame your aim, enter the map screen and enter this code.
I tried to be peaceful.
You'll double the damage you inflict with a successful hit.
How am I going to get anywhere if I kill everybody?
Of course, you're going to need a lot of bullets to make all those devastating hits. So enter the code below for unlimited ammo. Still want more unfair advantages? Okay, to throw your fellow officers off your trail as you hunt down Lieutenant Higgins' killers, enter the following. Then simply flash your badge or fire around in the air to lower your rogue meter.
Officer to dispatch. The situation is under control.
And finally, to run around the city as a zombified corpse, enter the following code so you can go up and say hello to all the friendly folks of New York City. But if you don't like the looks of this form, enter the code again for a zombie extreme makeover. Now here's a quick way to lose 50 pounds. Boy, talk about out of the frying pan and into the fire. Now we're taking you off the thug-infested streets of NYC and dropping you into the vampire-infested world of Castlevania. Here's how to tackle one of the game's toughest SOBs.
I finally tracked you down. I was the one who lured you here. Hector, the fool who betrayed our Lord Dracula.
Confused? Here's the dealio. You're Hector. One of Dracula's henchmen, Isaac, killed your girlfriend, and you're here to kick his undead butt. Okay, now you're up to speed. But before you can even reach Isaac, you'll have to defeat one of the most famous vampire hunters of them all, Trevor Belmont. He's the one who started the whole Belmont clan thing, you know.
You must show me just how much power you've gained. Wait, I have no reason to fight you. This is your reason. Defend yourself!
Whoa, take it easy there, Trev. This is your second meeting with the Belmont Patriarch, but don't be fooled. This old dog's learned some new tricks. The best way to beat Trevor is to prepare yourself thoroughly. Otherwise... First, make sure you're at least level 35, and that your innocent devils can take one on the chin. Got all that? Good. Next, stock up on potions and high potions from the lovely Julia.
Come on in.
You're gonna need them.
Will that do it? Thank you.
And finally, equip the boiling ring to protect yourself from fiery attacks and the innocent supporter to cut down on the number of hearts your innocent devils consume. During battle, watch out for Trevor's big-ass whip. Otherwise, you'll get a big-ass whipping. If you're up close and personal, you can try to block the whip. But if you're a bit farther off, just jump out of the way. Your instincts will tell you to equip your most powerful weapon. But these attacks are slow, and you'll need great timing to land a hit. But if you think you'd look really cool swinging that dragon killer sword around, then make sure you have the little devil equipped as your wingman. Why, you ask? Because you can use his magic circle to disappear while Trevor attacks. Then you can reappear when he's exhausted and do some serious damage. Another way to defeat Trevor is to pick a weapon with a high speed factor that won't hamper you down by its heavy weight. For this, we favor the Zagnol axe. This weapon's heavy hitting, but can also chop down a bad guy quicker than you can yell, "Timber!" This will be convenient when Trevor pulls out his kung fu moves. When you get low on health, and you will, use the potions from your inventory. You can also rely on your fairy's healing abilities. Keep moving and slashing, and Trevor will finally help you with your journey.
Why did you attack me?
The place to which Isaac has gone can only be entered by those who possess very advanced powers. I had to test you.
Okay, when we come back, we'll head for some beautiful sandy beaches. But don't break out the flip-flops quite yet. I have a feeling this trip's taken a turn for the worse.
For high-speed internet users that completely protects you from hackers or cyber terrorists on the internet. With one click, you block every port or door to the outside world that your computer is connected to. When you use your computer to check email or surf the web, the Alpha Shield automatically opens a port and then closes it tight when you're done. Alpha Shield is a hardware-only technology that's designed to stop hacker attacks, plus it's simple to install and use. In addition to blocking threats, the Alpha Shield also hides your computer's IP address so that hackers can't see when your computer is connected to the internet. The professional version of Alpha Shield is now bundled with Panda's Platinum Internet Security software, which includes spam, anti-spyware, and a virus protection for your email. Stopping hackers and identity theft has never been easier with a guaranteed solution from Alpha Shield.
The developers at Destineer bring us Close Combat First to Fight, an action-oriented first-person 3D shooter. First to Fight is not a story-driven game. Instead, it takes a mission-by-mission design route. Taking you into the streets of Beirut to clear out terrorists, the storyline is narrated in a TV news style. So in between calls from HQ describing new mission objectives, you'll see international news network reporters describing the results of your actions and future terrorist activities. With about 5 missions split up into long, multiple parts, the single-player campaign is substantial. You'll be able to command your team as a group or as individuals to cover, shoot, or defend. Your movement is slow and careful, and your team AI is skilled and experienced. First to Fight is a team-based game, both off and online, so using your team is only a benefit. Close Combat First to Fight is available for the Xbox and PC.
Welcome back to Cheat. I'm Kristen Holt, and in the next segment, we're going to get in touch with the beast within. We're following Far Cry instincts as the game makes the leap from PC to the Xbox, and we've got all the codes you need to stay on top of the food chain. Imagine you're chilling in a tropical paradise. Sun, surf, umbrella drinks, when suddenly everything goes to hell and you're left fighting tooth and claw for survival. Sounds like the premise of a pretty good game, huh? Well, it is. And to make it even better, here are some cheats that'll keep you on top of the food chain. To enter the codes, pause the game and access the cheat menu. And remember, these cheats are case sensitive, so you might want to take notes. Got your pads and pencils? Good. Let's get right to it. If you're wounded, enter Give Me Health for 100 hit points. It's better than an HMO. This code will let you unleash the animal within and give you infinite adrenaline. Not bad, huh? Of course, all the adrenaline in the world can't stop a bullet. So you can get unlimited ammo by entering Bullets of Hell. And finally, input The World Is Mine to unlock all the maps. This will not only keep you from getting lost, but it will also keep you from getting bored. If you get tired of one level, this nifty little cheat will let you skip ahead.
Let's picture that.
I hope you got all of that. And remember, these codes have to be entered exactly as we showed them to you. If you didn't pay any attention or you need to check your spelling, surf on over to our website at g4tv.com/cheat, where we've thoughtfully collected all the information for you. Next, let's take a good long look at one of the best-looking games we've ever seen. Call of Duty 2, Big Red One, and this Domino's delivers you walkthroughs. And if it takes more than half an hour, it's free.
Operation Torch was a resounding victory as the Big Red One took 40,000 prisoners and successfully helped push Germany out of North Africa.
Big Red One was a nickname given to the 1st U.S. Infantry Division deployed to the Western Front in World War II. Not only did their heroic deeds help liberate Europe, but they also laid the groundwork for a pretty enjoyable game. Well, maybe not enjoyable for this guy. Heads down is good advice for most of the game, but in the mission Liberators, we'll be looking for other things to worry about.
The 1st Infantry will be landing later this morning. We're gonna clear out as much resistance as possible.
During this battle for air supremacy, your first assignment is manning the ball turret in the belly of the plane. Boy, just try getting one of those on an aircraft these days. Job 1 is keeping your craft in the air and taking out as many Luftwaffes as you can. The damage your airplane just took is one of those unavoidable plot-advancing casualties of video game warfare. There's nothing you can do, so just grab your ankles and take it. Then head forward and man the bomber doors.
Stretch, you have the controls. You're flying this baby.
Take control of your own destiny and show them what you're made of. Bomb the ships below and move on to the next phase.
Nice hit there.
Now you're playing as a gunner taking out enemy planes.
Stretch, get back to the tail gun and take out that damn ace.
But once you've established your sharp shooting skills, you'll be reassigned to the rear after that guy bites the dust. Destroy as many planes as possible while protecting yours and that of your buddies next to you. For the final assault, go back to the bomber doors and aim carefully.
Bombs away!
Take out the targets below and head back to the base for some well-deserved R&R.
We're headed home. Richie, radio HQ and report mission accomplished.
Okay, you savage beasts. Time for a little soothing break. When we get back, we're gonna have a musical interlude. For those about to rock, we salute you. Some people think there are games you can't cheat at. And Guitar Hero from the musical geniuses behind Amplitude would certainly seem to be one of those. But we put the cheat team to work, and they figured out a way to hoodwink even this seemingly innocent title. So grab your guitars and get ready for a jam session. Oh, the life of a rock star. Who wouldn't want it? In Guitar Heroes, the novice and professionals alike can perform their favorite band songs with just the push of a button. Okay, for Guitar Hero, all you need is your game and your guitar. I'm gonna give you a quick Guitar Hero 101. All right, when the colored buttons come your way, you wanna hit the corresponding fret button on your guitar and strum the lever at the same time. So, if a red button's coming towards you, you hit the red fret button and the lever at the same time. Once you have that down, make sure when you see a colored note with a line attached to it that you hold down the fret button and the lever until the line ends. Otherwise, you don't get no point. For the really long ones, make sure you use your whammy bar. Taking it to 11. And finally, to enable star power, you have to fully fill up your meter. In order to do that, you have to hit multiple notes correctly in a row, which means you have to keep the messing up to a minimum. When your meter is full, fully tilt your guitar to enable star power. You'll know that you've done it when all the colored notes turn blue. And now that you're in star power mode, make sure you really rock out and take advantage of the whammy bar and tilting your guitar to rack up maximum points. What's up now, Franz Ferdinand, huh? Take me out, what? If you're looking for a new female...
System. Quit this game at once. This is not a virtual game world. This area is restricted for R&D purposes only. Coded arms assault.
Real death awaits you beyond. Go home to the real world.
Orgasm. Like, I don't even
I
understand.
have. I spent like years faking.
I bet you're good.
I am so good. I really get. It's actually sad. It's so good.
See, I figured.
But I wish I never did.
Well, because I think, like, why let a guy think that that's doing something for you?
I know.
Wouldn't you rather have him know?
Because you just want them off of you, and they won't stop until they think you've gotten there. So you just get off of me. This is great, awesome. Get on to the next thing.
Anyway, you're not totally weird for doing it, but
yeah,
like, let's
just don't do it.
Because you could get
Trust me, it's not worth it. All right, next to our next question.
Oh, hello. This is Vishnu from San Diego, California. I've been seeing my friend's sister. He doesn't know. I think he'd be pissed off if he found out. Should I tell him or not?
Okay, does every guy that submits a video question have to have a costume or an accent?
They're very
or a bad
interesting
accent?
viewers you guys have here.
I know, aren't they?
Yeah.
Aren't you glad to be part of the G4 team?
Yes.
Okay, well, this guy is dating his friend's sister, and...
Well, I don't think there's a problem. I mean,
but he doesn't know.
Well, I think tell him. I mean, if you're keeping it a secret, you're giving the friend way too much power.
And eventually, unless you're just like sleeping with her and it's not going to go anywhere. Eventually, if you're going to be with her for a long time, he's going to find out.
And it could be a good thing because you already like her family.
Yeah.
I think though, they might be kind of getting into that like illicit sort of like how you're a part of something you shouldn't be a part of, and you kind of that like makes it the sex more exciting.
Yeah.
You ever had one of those?
Yes, unfortunately, yeah. Because then it just fizzles out, and then after a while, you just kind of... Yeah. It doesn't end well when things are secret.
There are reasons for things to be secret. You're dating your friend's sister is not a good enough reason.
No. You should just tell. You should just tell him.
Unless they have some weird relationship, and then why would you want to date some girl with a weird relationship with
tell
her
him.
brother?
So just tell him. That's
Honesty is the best policy, like I always say.
All right, and our last question.
Do girls expect you to kiss them on a first date?
If I like the guy, it's the whole thing of pick up on what I'm putting down. Like,
yeah. We were talking about this ahead of time. I think if a girl likes you, hell yes, she expects you to try to kiss her.
Yeah.
If she doesn't,
Right, like some of the things that you do are like, you keep the stare a little bit longer, you move in, you let them know.
If she's in your car and she's sort of saying really awkward things and she's like looking up at you and sort of going, I really had fun tonight. Yes, she wants to kiss you.
If her hand's on the door.
If her hand's on the door and she's like, thanks so much, and she split the bill with you, she wouldn't let you pay, she doesn't want you to try.
That's true.
I think it really depends.
You have to gauge it.
Yeah, I think it is sort of respectful to not try, but it's respectful to try too, because we might think you're not attracted to us if you don't try.
Exactly. Then you don't want to go out with them again, because who wants to feel like they're not attractive?
Yeah. So
just
watch for her signals.
Watch for her signals. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I can't go in your pants unless you send me some of your sex and relationship video questions, and I really, really would love to go in your pants. To do that, just go to g4tv.com/video voicemail, and to find out more about Anna David, go to annadavid.com.
If you haven't been watching Attack of the Show,
eating a praying mantis,
this is what you're missing.
Hi. There are a few sites that every Mac user should have bookmarked: versiontracker.com and macupdate.com. Both sites basically keep track of any new freeware, shareware, and software updates for Mac OS X and the older Mac OS 9. Version Tracker also monitors PC and Palm OS releases. Freeware is just as the name suggests, free. The programmer doesn't ask for any money in exchange for the program. There are thousands of free programs available, providing a wide range of functions. Shareware programs can usually be downloaded at no charge, but the creator of the program requests that you make a small payment or donation if you find the program useful. Some programs can be used with limited functions for free, but become fully operational when you make a payment. These are the perfect sites to check out if you are looking for very specific applications that larger software companies rarely develop. The majority of the developers simply create these programs because they find a need for what they do.
If your roommate comes up to you and looks at you a little suspiciously when he sees that your taxidermied anteater is wearing a see-through bra and a G-string, don't feel awkward. Just look him in the eye and tell him, hey, listen.
It came from eBay!
Yes.
What's going on here?
Auctions go.
Auctions. First up, an original unopened 1984 Matchbox Voltron action figure. Sweet! The auction includes all 5 die-cast metal lion characters from the classic 80s cartoon. When combined, the lions become Voltron, the robotic badass with a sword and defender of the universe.
Hells yeah.
Hells yeah. Here's something I never understood. Why wouldn't he just, stay formed as Voltron the whole time? That's just, a way better way than, bunching up a stupid robot lion.
But that's why doesn't Captain Planet always Captain Planet? Well, because there's 5 kids trapped inside of his body with their magical ring powers. I mean, it's not to tangent, heart? What a crap power to be stuck with is out, and everybody else is like, wind and water, yeah, awesome. Heart. Because I could love you and kill you with that love.
Sometimes love hurts.
It does.
Sometimes love hurts.
Love
what would your
sucks.
ring be?
It'd be lust.
Drunk. Awesome.
That's the state of being.
Only one bid, and the auction ended at $199.
Actually, that's really not bad for mint condition Voltron. All right, now I got you beat though, and I hate to one up you, but I have got an auction. Listen up, kiddies. For 3 Olivia Munn 4x6 photos.
Oh my gosh!
That's right. There are still 20 sets of photos available. Apparently, they're not flying off the electronic shelves for some reason.
Too bad.
Can't imagine why. Zoa's description of the auction includes the words sexy and low cut, and black dress and hot.
That's hilarious. Wait, how much are they going for?
Well, the auction carries a buy it now price of $7.99 per set.
Per set, so you get 3 for $8.
But it's kind of a ripoff because you can get the real deal for like $1.80 if you just ask nicely.
I think I've upgraded $2 by now.
Sorry, I forgot
and
inflation.
you can pay in change. I take change.
And IOUs. I'm never paying up.
Hey, it's worth every penny. Trust me. And trust Kevin. He knows.
I do.
Finally, our last auction for today is a truly rare item. Apparently, stuff that Hulk Hogan actually wore in the ring is hard to come by. With a starting bid price of $850, Hogan's wrestling tights went unnoticed.
Dude, the actual tights that Hogan wore?
Yeah, you know what I think is funny is that he's always Hulk Hogan. Like when you watch that show of his, he's he's never just, what's his name, like Leslie or something.
What's his daughter's name? Is it like Jess or Jen or
I don't
Jenna?
know, wannabe musical star?
But no, it's like if he can't, what'd you say? And it's the best move ever. The kids are like, Dad, you stop it. You're not.
Yeah, he's always Hulk Hogan. Well, you know, these tights were actually worn by him, and they were worn before he became a bad guy.
So these are like the
yeah.
Hulkamaniacs grapes were smuggled in these.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Phenomenal.
That is the best part, is that if you get these tights that that they have not been washed and he actually wore them, you can actually sniff really hard, and you might catch a whiff of Hogan's package.
I smell it. I smell the little Hogan taintage and a hint of the Ultimate Warrior, actually, which is kind of odd.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. All right, come on. You got to be at least mildly impressed by these auctions, right? I mean, you always got to expect the unexpected when it came from eBay. And I hit the camera with that one. That's talent.
Nice. That's talent. Mike.
If you haven't been watching Attack of the Show, this is what you're missing.
And you just don't understand why the ladies aren't responding. It's sad.
Something's wrong, boys, and luckily you have a friend who can help. It's time to narrow the search. We have your MySpace Girl of the Week.
Zach, we are not alone on this.
We're not.
We brought in some backup. Joining us today is the MySpace Girl of last week. It was Amanda, otherwise known as Mischievous Little Me. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
Are you being mischievous right now?
Absolutely. I'm just sitting here and everything's just kind of building up, and I can't wait to break out of this room and see what mischief I can get into.
Wow. Hey,
Zach.
you know, what does I'm going to take you by surprise and make you realize Amanda mean to you?
Excuse me?
You're too young for that. It was an old Boston song, big hit in the 80s.
It also means she tapes it back. Surprise!
Hey.
And you're like, oh, thanks, Amanda. Yeah. Now, we were reading your MySpace profile, and we saw that you practice a little bit of the martial arts. You like to kick butt. What kind of martial arts is this? Tell me it's kendo.
No, actually, it's this art form that's taught through the U.S. military called combo tai.
Oh, that was the Bloodsport movie with Jean-Claude.
It sure was. When he did the splits on the washing machine.
The split down to the crotch punch.
I think I can do it.
You know, okay, go for it.
Ow! Oh, guys, that was actually kumote.
Oh, well, that's called hernia tay. Hey, have you ever kicked butt of any MySpace girls before, and are you ready to do it today?
I'd love to, but no, actually, I haven't had the opportunity until last week.
Well, now's the time. Today we have 3 lovely SoCal bunnies. We're going to adjust the ears on these little rabbits. So I hope you're ready to harsh on some unsuspecting SoCal girls. Zach, let's get to it. Start us off, buddy.
All right, Sun Bunny number 1 goes by the secret, enigmatic MySpace pseudonym of Michelle Anderson. I wonder what her real name is. You know, Michelle's from Los Angeles, of course. She's 23. Her quote is, "Booty, booty, 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 rocking everywhere. I found you, Miss New Booty. Get it right, get it tight."
No.
I don't even know what that means.
Don't encourage people to sing that or put that on their profile.
Never
If
again.
I see a girl rocking out into the club, I'm slamming the glass in her face.
Absolutely.
I'll buy her a drink and then break the glass
Hold this
on
drink.
her nose.
I love it.
I
She's
don't know,
set.
guys. That's I have to admit that booty is pretty rocking. I think
well, you know,
tapping it after she's out.
She says she maintains her hotness with a steady diet of ice cream and pizza, so I'm giving her about another 2 years before she's a little bit hefty.
That's how you maintain the retinol prescription
exactly.
as well.
Hey, wait a minute. I eat whatever I want. As long as you work out, it doesn't matter.
Is that the key? I should exercise?
That's the key.
No. Vomit and Coke.
Vomit and Coke. Excellent. Who's this next girl, Kev?
This next bunny is Generation. You like that?
I do.
Probably Jenny, who knows? She's from Valencia, as she phonetically spells it. Very cute. That's Valencia for anybody who gets it. Actually, kind of hot, actually.
Yeah, I like her.
Don't.
A lot of meth labs in Valencia.
Yes, it is crank capital of the world. Most people don't know that.
They do not.
I made that up. Age 20. I think I effing love my life is her quote, and I think I effing agree. Sign is a Virgo. And she has a picture of a scary clown under her About Me section in her profile. Nice midriff, too.
And she kind of has a scary one of her, too, for anyone that checks out the rest of her pics.
Yeah, what's freakish about the pic?
Yeah, just everything's like bright red. She looks like she'd come after you in the middle of the night.
The old Crimson Tide photo.
Yeah, not your girl, Amanda. So far, you're going with our first SoCal bunny, huh?
Yeah, I have to say so.
Well,
Although,
let's take a look at our last one.
Does have a cute, she has cute ones in there where she is fully dressed, unlike the first one.
Well, we like the naked pictures.
Yeah,
and hopefully this last little bunny,
of
Rachel,
course.
will give us some of those. I
Please.
can't figure out, though, if it's Rachel, Raquel, Rachel. I don't know. I'm just going to call her Rachel, maybe
Done.
Rachie. But she's a location, I'm just
Look
going
at
to take
that.
a stab in the dark. California, Los Angeles. Damn, I'm really good. She's 22.
Wait,
Her
have you
quote
looked at the photo on the screen yet, Zach? Oh, my dear
wow.
Lord.
Okay, she wins.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah,
over.
it's absolutely endearing. You can't really argue with that.
Well, it's pretty hot. Her quote is, gentlemen, prefer blondes, and so do the rest of the guys.
Hello.
Yeah. She's an Aquarius. It's the dawning of the age of. She hopes to someday rule the world from an uber closed circuit TV command center, which is
All right,
kind of
good
where
luck.
we are right now. So if she wants to come over here, Rachie,
Not a
what's
problem.
up?
Especially if she crawls in like that photo. Jeez.
I have my own cubicle. He can hang out, you know.
He has a guitar in it.
Got a guitar.
Can't play it till after 5.
Not till 5.
That's the rules. HR said so.
She actually says she only wears, on occasion, she wears a trench coat and heels in public. That's it. She claims that that's what she wears,
Now,
a trench coat and heels.
I'm okay with that. Amanda,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? Does that make her one of these SoCal bunnies, or does that disqualify her because she goes out in the trench coat and heels?
No, actually, that's really hot because, you know, underneath all, she's sexy, but, you know, she's not showing everything off.
I like that.
So that's a plus in my book.
Yeah, Amanda, you know what?
Actually,
You're a
an
girl
idea.
after
I
our
think
own
I
heart.
might go try it sometime.
Hey, she is mischievous.
Yeah,
Now would be
yeah.
I think now would be the time.
Absolutely.
So if you want to just get ready, Amanda, we'll check back in with you later in the show. Trench coat and heels, nothing else?
That's all we need.
Fantastic.
Okay. I think I got the heels covered.
Nice.
Done. All right. Hey, we can skip the trench coat. I'm okay
Sure,
with that.
just
Are you?
heels. That's fine with me.
Done. Now, everybody at home, you go vote for your favorite girl. Just visit attackoftheshow.com. Voting for them, it's sort of like feeling them up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is all for the weekend edition, but we will be back on Monday, folks. Relax.
That's right. And, hey, you guys know we wouldn't come to work without bringing the goods. I will personally be lotioning my hands and going in your pants for some sex advice. Plus, we'll check in with legendary director John Landis as he films his installment of Masters of Horror.
Yes, now before we go, I want to give
Some hot water, old mini blinds go in dingy, and they come out looking new. Add a scoop to your garbage disposal and get rid of the stink in your sink. And it easily removes stains from this coffee pot. Look for OxyClean in retail stores everywhere.
Are you a person with a disability? Then log on to ala.ca, the Active Living Alliance for Canadians with a Disability. Visit our website now at ala.ca.
Welcome back to Tech Books. Today I've been talking with Richard Warzel. And Richard, really one of the best business management, future, technology-related books I've read in a long time.
Thank you.
What do you think, in a last-minute, rollout,
Right.
what do you think that the individual in their own life should be most focused on to prepare for the future?
Well, keeping their skills up, being willing to try things, and most particularly being willing to learn new things, to boldly go where you've never gone before,
right.
To borrow Captain Kirk's split infinitive. Because I've had to do that in my practice. I've had to change directions when the clients change what they want and the circumstance changes. So you've got to be flexible. It also means you need to look farther out and think through where you might be going. There's a whole process that you can use called scenario planning, which I didn't invent, but I'm a great proponent.
Hi, I'm Val Cole. Welcome to Shaw Connects. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at high-definition television, the latest evolution in television technology. The arrival of HD TV has given us a new standard for measuring the quality of television. To get some advice on the future of HD TV, we're going to be talking with an experienced Shaw technician. Walker, will my standard TV become obsolete with the new transition?
HD TV is definitely here to stay, but that doesn't mean that your standard television is going to become obsolete overnight. It just means that technically, your TV is not equipped to receive an HD broadcast. If you're in the market for a new TV, we'd recommend you look closely at an HD-ready TV. It would be well worth the investment once major changes start taking place. With most technological advancements, broadcasters need time to modify and introduce new equipment. It's not as simple as you might think. HD TV is a three-step process. First, the network providers such as CBS, NBC, and CTV have to film and broadcast in high definition. Second, the viewer must have an HD-compatible television set. And third, the viewer needs to have an HD-compatible digital terminal to receive and decode the signal.
If you're interested in HD TV or you have an HD-ready television and you'd like to get your hands on a Shaw high-definition digital terminal, you can call us today or visit us online at shaw.ca. And if you have any questions, you can email us at shawconnects@sjrb.ca.
It's finally here, the 2006 FIFA World Cup from Germany. There is nothing like it, and this year you won't miss a moment of the action.
As Roger Sportsnet, TSN, and CTV have teamed together to bring you the most extensive coverage ever of the biggest sporting event of the year.
From the opening match right through to the final, you'll witness all the excitement from this year's World Cup. Roger Sportsnet, TSN, and CTV have joined together to bring you unprecedented coverage, including all 64 matches live. And every game is available in fantastic high definition and 5.1 surround sound.
History will be made, legends will be born. For the anxious fans who have been waiting 4 years, a world champion will be decided July 9th when the final is broadcast live on CTV.
There really is nothing like it. The World Cup is a true global sports phenomenon. And the passion of the athletes, the passion of the fans make the World Cup one of the most exciting and grandest tournaments in history. And watching the picture-perfect clarity of high definition is another reason why this year, more than ever, it's called the beautiful game.
If you can't catch the games live, you don't need to worry. Throughout the tournament, there'll be primetime replays in the evenings on TSN and Rogers Sportsnet. For complete schedule information, including live games and replays, visit either sportsnet.ca or tsn.ca.
So if you're watching this, you're probably missing out on a great match right now.
The 2006 FIFA World Cup from Germany continues on Rogers Sportsnet, TSN, and CTV.
64 games, live and in high definition, from the greatest tournament on earth.
People don't work together, and we realize that children actually might enjoy a physical interface and the idea of talking to one another. So, having built the table and created the means to control the balloon, Thurslow is just the place where the action happens, and people seem to like it.
Very cool. So, if anyone wants to find out more information about this game, they can go to blowaway.org and they can check out what the game is all about and find out how you guys came up with the idea and all that information.
You can even get in touch if you want.
Excellent. All right, so I'll keep helping. Thanks very much, John.
Thank you.
Boy, you're looking like you have a lot of fun there.
You know
Rebecca.
what? We had so much fun at Next Fest. And we met all these people from all around the world who've come up with these great concepts for games and tech products and those types of things. It was a blast.
Yeah, great. Looked great. All right, now coming up next, all you radio fans out there can now listen, record, and rewind and play back all your favorite programs with a handy new device that we'll be giving you a glimpse of. Now, find out whether this device is worth the dough when Gadgets and Gizmos come back after this short break.
Hi, I'm David Orrick. You wouldn't dream of drinking this polluted water. So why inhale it? The dirt in this water was actually pulled out of the air that we breathe by my Orrick Professional Air Purifier. It captures and destroys bacteria, mold, viruses, and fungi. Plus, it removes odors and allergens. And its permanent collector cell never needs replacing. Call now, and I'll send you my Orrick XL Professional Air Purifier to try for 90 days with no risk, along with 2 free gifts. My cordless refrigerator purifier, a $50 value, and my cord-free electric broom, a $100 value, yours to keep even if you decide to return the air purifier. And shipping and handling is free. I'll even pay to ship it back if you decide not to keep it. So call me right now.
Simply Accounting by Sage Pro 2006 makes bookkeeping for Canadian small businesses simple. You start with a setup wizard that provides a list of templates that best match your business, which helps streamline managing customers, making sales, and recording revenue. Simply Accounting Pro is designed for growing businesses and is capable of sophisticated accounting tasks when your business is ready. Within Simply Accounting, you can write checks, create invoices, track inventory, pay your employees, and track projects. And its detailed yet easy to understand reporting helps business owners stay on top of finances. The Pro version of Simply Accounting comes with a 2-user license, allowing simultaneous access to data. It also has an advanced inventory system, allowing you to keep track of your inventory items on hand, cost of goods, and outstanding orders. If you have a small business and are still using a shoebox or spreadsheet accounting method, you'll want to have a look at Simply Accounting by Sage 2006.
Hey, welcome back. If it seems like your MP3 player can do a lot more these days than just play tunes, it can. The Apple iPod, for example, can show color picture slideshows. One of the Samsung players we looked at on G&G lets you read electronic books. And the Radio Your Way LX from Pogo Products allows you to listen to and record AM and FM radio broadcasts. Today, we've got the scoop on this cool gadget. So, Amber, like we were saying off the top, this is not only an MP3 player, much like an iPod, doesn't store as much memory, we'll get to that, but it is also an AM and FM radio and AM/FM radio recorder, which is kind of neat. Now, we've seen FM recorders in a lot of digital music players these days, like Creative, for example, throws a lot of those into their Zen players and their Nomads. So that's not that unusual, but this is the only one on the market that does AM/FM as well as, so recording AM and FM as well as playing MP3s. So let me show you how it works. It is called, aptly named, the Radio Your Way. To turn it on, you just hold down the play button there and you see this cool little opening graphic. Let me just twist that. There you go. And really, just with a couple of pushes of the button, and the interface is actually pretty good, you can listen to your music. So, for example, here's FM, and let me plug in so you can hear at home what I've done. And let me just plug that into the headphone jack.
So this might be good if you're just listening to a radio station and you want to record it to play it back again?
Absolutely. So there's a little red button there. If you hear something you like, boom, oh, I love this song, you can record it, or you're listening to a ball game. But even cooler than that, Amber, and I'll get to this in a minute, you can actually set a timer. So you can, you don't have to keep it on. It'll know when to turn on and record your favorite radio broadcast. So right here, I'm going to go into the FM folder, and this is recording a clip. I think it's, I can't hear it actually, but I believe it's a clip of Sweet Playing Under My Thumb remake. So that's, it sounds okay. It's not going to be, of course, CD quality because it's recorded off FM, and of course, it's not going to be as good when it comes to AM because of the quality. But it is nice and handy to have that should you need it. You're hearing, you know, a breakthrough story, or you want to set a timer to, maybe you've got a favorite radio program like a morning show, a local AM show or FM show. You can set it and record it daily or weekly, which is pretty cool stuff. Other neat things about the Radio Your Way, so so it plays your MP3s. You connect it to your PC. The software is so-so, but what it does is it creates a drive when you use, say, Windows Explorer, and you just drag and drop your MP3s.
Is it Windows only, or?
No, it will work with the Mac as well, but it's same sort of file directory format. It only has 128 megs of internal memory in this model for $200, and then there's one for 512, a half a gig for $250. I don't know why they do that. It's only $50 more, but there is external memory. If I can turn it around the side, open up this little flap here. I'm actually going to take out the, and as you can hear, it also has an external speaker.
So 128, that's like maybe 30 songs, 40 songs.
Yeah, that's about it. Let me just open this up here. Here, I'm trying to do this backwards. There you go. So, as you may have heard, so that's right, Amber, not that much for 128, and it's a lot more with 512. So this is, at least it gives you the option to expand it. And the price of flash memory, SD memory, has really dropped. This is only another 128, but you can buy a gig for like 50, 60 bucks now, and it just snaps in. So at least they do that. And as you may have heard, it actually has an external speaker as well down there.
Very cool.
One other thing I wanted to mention, so it plays your MP3s, your WMAs, it lets you record and even set a timer for AM and FM. But I feel like an infomercial. But yeah, wait, there's more.
You like this product,
I like it. Well, if it had more memory, I'd really like it. But what I do like is that it has a line-in jack, and it gives you the cord. This is a standard mini-to-mini jack. What this allows you to do, Amber, is to rip MP3s without needing a computer. So let's say you've got some old records, tapes, even CDs. You can have that coming out of a CD headphone jack and a line in and record it directly onto the device. And it also has a built-in microphone, so you can use it for lectures and things like that. So which is neat. So you don't need a computer. You can record. Of course, if you're going to go from, say, records and tapes to to that, then you're going to need an RCA to female mini splitter, which you can buy at, Radio Shack or what have you. Okay. But overall, it does work very well. The quality is pretty decent for having a line-in jack right on there. But you're asking also about how much 128 megs is in terms of MP3s.
I mean, I know it depends on the file format of the song.
You're right. So you're right about 40, 50 songs, 128 kilobits per second or 192, a little bit less. But when it comes to radio, recording AM and FM radio, it's about 8.5 hours. Or if you have the half gig version, it's about 32 hours of radio. So
that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's pretty good. So that's basically our look at the Radio Your Way LX from Pogo Products. Let's take a look at the pros and cons just to sort of summarize what we've discussed today. It is the first AM and FM recorder in the industry, which is a pretty neat thing to have, especially if you're a radio fan. Secondly, line-in recording, gotta love it. You can back up your old records and tapes or even other CDs right onto the device itself. And third, expandable memory. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that the version they sent us is only 128 megs, but at least you can add in an inexpensive memory, an SD card, memory stick. So some of the cons is that, yeah, limited internal memory. For 50 bucks more, go for the half gig version. Somewhat bulky. I mean, we've seen other players like this, at least with FM radio, that are a lot smaller. This is about the size of an iPod, and it's not a hard drive, so it's a bit bulky because of that. And lastly, so-so software. It is pretty easy to drag and drop the files onto the device, but by no means is it really intuitive, and it doesn't go above and beyond what your Windows or Mac file sort of system works with. But if you can go to pogoproducts.com and learn more about it anyways. All right, coming up next, we'll see why pay has become the subject of a new form of artwork that will get all you gamer guys and dolls all excited about it, especially if you love comics and video games or both. So stick around to see what it is.
Is your child protected for the future? Gerber Life offers you a way to help protect your child through its Grow Up Plan. It's a $5,000 cash value insurance program that costs less than 20 cents a day. At age 21, that protection doubles to $10,000 with absolutely no increase in premiums. In addition to automatically doubling at age 21, the plan also guarantees the right to buy up to an additional $40,000 of protection. So call now for your free information package. You may apply for any healthy child 12 and under. No medical exam is necessary. Simply answer a few questions. As a special feature, send no money now.
Provide an even brighter future for your child. Lock in the low childhood rates today. The Gerber Life Grow Up Plan. Please call 1-800-721-1448 for free information and a full description of the policy features of the Grow Up Plan. Call 1-800-721-1448. That's 1-800-721-1448. The Gerber Life Grow Up Plan. Call now.
With Dell, you don't just get a quality computer at a great price. You can also get warranty coverage against accidental drops, unexpected spills, and power surges. With customer service whenever you need it 24/7. No wonder Canadian consumers have voted us #1 in service and support. So get the PC you want with the service you deserve. When it comes to peace of mind, Dell has you covered. Go to dell.ca/myservice or call today to find out more.
Technology is supposed to make your life easier, but when it doesn't, call for help.
This is the show where we teach you how to use it to change your life, to change the world around you.
Let Leo and the gang show you how easy it can be.
I know what it's doing, and I know how to fix it.
They'll give you the inside scoop on all that's latest and greatest.
It allows you to manage all of your invoicing online.
Software, hardware, is there anything they can't do?
Go!
Putting the support back in tech. Call for help. Brought to you by Nextech.
Hey, welcome back to Gadgets and Gizmos. What do you get when you combine video games with comics? GameX. It's become its own art form, and it's catching on with gamers and comic fans alike. Pei visits the creator of GameX and becomes the subject of one herself. Take a look.
I'm with Nathan, who is the creator of GameX. It's gaming and comics as one.
That's right.
Together.
Gaming and comics is one, yeah. Well, the name kind of comes from games, comics, GameX.
It makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
No, what? But describe it a bit more.
Well, GameX is when I didn't want to just go with comics because they aren't comics. Comics, hand-drawn on a writer, where GameX is using art from video games, existing video games, taking screen captures and then using editing software to make them look like a comic book page, comic book layout, and then I'll create my own stories over top of them.
Why did you decide to create a gimmick in the first place?
It started from Star Wars Galaxies, which was a game I was playing, and they've created a whole big universe of Star Wars Galaxies. So I was noticing how the camera system was really good. You could move it in and out anywhere you wanted, close-ups, long shots, two shots, everything. And they even talked with these dialogue bubbles. So then I just got this idea, hey, I can tell a little story about that. So I tried it out and it worked.
And how do you decide which games you'll make a gimmick of?
A few things, I guess. It's what do I want to play? I'm doing one on The Matrix recently, and I enjoyed those films, so it made sense. It's also of what's a really popular game that a lot of people are playing that I know is going to attract attention. World of Warcraft is the most popular game in the online world right now, so I, of course, have a story for that one. I've opened it up to suggestions from people. What do you want to see? I'm also trying to branch out to something that's a little more open to people that are beyond the gaming world. So there is a Simpsons game, so I've started a Simpsons gimmick as well. So it doesn't have to be just about gamers.
Right. Now, how long does it take you to create a gimmick, typically?
Right.
I'm sure it varies.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like the Simpsons one, the site updates every day. With two different gimmicks. So I have one that is kind of like a 3-panel gimmick. So it's just 3 panels, a little story, and it's telling this ongoing story. And those are quick because I just slide a couple of pictures in and I can write the story. But a longer one like the Star Wars Galaxies or something that's more involved will take, 2 to 3 hours just to do, one page. Because I put a lot into the layout art and into the story and capturing the shots, organizing it all. So it takes a lot of time.
Now, your website is, like you said, you update it daily. You've got how many gimmicks online now?
Over 20 gimmicks online now from different genres, different games, and almost 1,000 pages that I've done. Like the Star Wars Galaxy has been running for 2 years now, and it's, I think, about 170 pages long. Wow. So it's this rather epic story.
Just like the movies.
Yeah. Well, it goes by episode, but I'm up to episode 178 or something.
Holy smokes. So. And you created a gimmick for me.
I did.
This is very exciting.
And the video game.
The video game! Working backwards, we'll go from the gimmick to the video game.
Right.
Maybe somebody will create that at some point. So tell me a bit about that.
I watched a number of your segments from your shows, and I was just kind of looking for dynamic shots. So when you're creating a gimmick, as I was saying, these games have really dynamic camera systems. You're almost kind of putting yourselves in the role of a director. What shot do I want? What am I portraying here? Do I need a long shot? Do I need a close-up? Do I need a medium? All that sort of stuff. So I watched your tapes, and I started to just look for images that I could use. There she is marching around in action pose.
Yeah, you picked some of the best ones.
I knew I wanted to kind of give you an action adventure kind of feel, some fun like that. So I laid it all out. And the idea, I think, was always running in the back of my mind. Mm-hmm. And then I turned it into the rest of the story. Into a two-page little adventure for you. So the way that I do it is I start in Photoshop. Mm-hmm. I will, I can grab a whole picture of you.
Oh, okay. There I am.
Right? And if I wanted to start a new one, I can have you there. I like to readjust the colors a bit. If I want to throw a filter onto you, try out a few different things. So this is my first time actually working with pictures, so I wanted to see what kind of filters and fun I could have with.
There are endless possibilities with a gimmick, according to gimmick creator himself, right, Nathan?
That's right.
So if gimmicks are gaming and comics as one, what if we were to do like TV and comics? That'd be like TV-ic or show-ic. T-Vix. Yeah. And can we make me a little bit taller? Maybe take off 10 pounds. Add a cup size, something. I don't know. Let's punch that up. We can do anything we need because it's a gaming.
Thanks, Pei. Up next, first we had to send away our pics for processing. Then we had the technology to print them in full color at home. What's next, you ask? Well, we'll give you all the details on getting your pictures on paper wherever you are. Amber's got that demo when Gadgets and Gizmos returns.
Tired of waiting for a big pot of water to boil, then breaking the pasta to make it fit? Now there's a better way with the Pasta Express. Place the pasta in the Pasta Express. Pour in boiling water covering the pasta. Press the strainer into place, pop on the thermal lid, and the pasta cooks right before your eyes in minutes. The secret is the revolutionary thermal conductivity design that keeps the water the perfect temperature. Here's the best part. Remove the lid and drain and strain the pasta at the same time. Since nothing sticks, cleanup is a breeze. Cook all types of pasta perfectly. Cook all your favorite veggies quickly and easily without boiling away all the minerals, vitamins, and nutrients. Cook, strain, add butter and parsley, toss for the best gnocchi ever. Never overcook shrimp again.
Order your Cook, Strain, and Drain Pasta Express with Deluxe Color Recipe Guide for only $29.99 and receive the personal size free. All for only $29.99.
No one ever thinks about batteries or cables. Why? Because we all want the big things, the cool things, the high-tech things. Well, to be honest, to get the most out of the big things, you have to have the little things. And there's one place that understands that. The Source by Circuit City. From the latest laptops to the things that make them go. Where experts know how everything works and how they work together, all at the right price. It's The Source by Circuit City.
Welcome to Torrent. This is the only place where you can sit in the living room of your home and let the best video podcasters in the world bring you the latest about geek culture.
Only on G4 Tech TV. Enjoy.
Hey, welcome back. You ever host a barbecue, take some digital pics, and then have to show them off on a tiny LCD screen to your guests? Well, what if you had a portable printer set up in your backyard for your guests to fire off their favorite photos while you flip a tasty burger at the same time? Well, Amber's here to tell us more. Now, I know this is a common scenario around your house, flipping burgers and needing a photo, but we get where you're going. These are portable printers, yeah.
I thought you were making a sarcastic comment about me cooking or something.
No,
like that.
no, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go there. But obviously, the point you're trying to drive here is that these are portable printers. You can print wherever you are, whether it's a business trip or a family vacation.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is we have, as you can see, we have 4 printers here. We're going to break them up into 2 categories. So the first 2 we're going to look at don't come with digital cameras, so just straight up portable printers. So this one is the Lexmark printer, and this one is about $130, which is a really quite a good price for a little portable printer like this. This is the quality of the photo that comes out of this. This is a picture of the G&G team.
Yeah, that's a nice shot.
All of us here. So again, you know, the only way it's powered is by the AC power, and it doesn't run on batteries or anything
so no
like
battery
that.
option at all.
And it also doesn't hook up to your PC. So those are some of the negatives, but for $130, you really can't go wrong with this.
Right. They always get you on the ink, though. Like, you know, they may be affordable, these printers, but the ink is and I don't mean just Lexmark. I mean across the board, right?
Yeah, exactly. They always get you on the ink. So you can see it has a little LCD here, and then also it has this cute little handle that you can pick it up and carry it around.
Great.
So move
like
this
a big
back.
lunchbox.
I know, it is like a big lunchbox.
So obviously, these are only for photos. They're all 4x6 machines that we're looking at here.
Yes, this is a 4x6. Actually, this one, one of them prints more than just 4x6, but we'll get into that a little bit later. You're always getting ahead of me, Mark.
I get excited about this.
I know. So the next one we're going to look at is the Epson PictureMate. So this is a little bit more expensive. This is $250. The quality is really good. It has a handle, and it also runs on batteries. The thing I like the most about this is that you can hook it up just via a little USB key in the back. So if you put all your photos on a key, then you can print it off of there. So we're going to actually print a photo off of this. Just one copy. It's really easy to use. We're going to print, let's see, now printing a photo of Matt, who is our associate producer. He was in the UK recently. So we'll check out a picture of him while he was traveling there.
And how long does it take for these portable photo printers to spit out a 4x6?
Well, this one is pretty quick, actually, as you'll see. So within, I'd say, 40 to 60 seconds, it should be done. And this hooks up to your computer as well, which is really, really handy.
Right.
So we'll just let that print while we're sitting there. The next category we're going to look at is the bundles. So these are, when we say bundles, it means that they actually come with a digital camera. So this one is the Kodak bundle and the HP bundle. So what it means is this comes with a 5-megapixel Kodak camera, and the price is $450 for this bundle. So it's a pretty good price. It has no handle on it, unfortunately. but still it's quite portable. As you can see, it's very small compared to the other printers. So it's a really, really good price. And it has, it's just very compact, and the quality of the photos is actually really good. So we'll take a look at the same picture here. And we're going to do a little experiment with this in 1 second.
Yeah, so well, what's neat about this, Amber, is that the Kodak one that you just showed uses a different technology than the inkjets that are the other ones from Epson, Lexmark, and HP. The Kodak one uses something called dye sublimation, or dye sub, which uses a thermal process. Instead of, ink coming out of nozzles, it's actually using a heat transfer process in order to get that image on there. It's not like a little cartridge of ink that you buy. It's actually like a sheet that's a roll, if you will, and you actually buy the paper and the printer together. Now, the experiment that I told you that I wanted to do when I heard you were going to be showing us these digital cameras and these printer docks is to show you that the dye sub process actually also creates an extra layer of film on top of the print to protect it. It adds to its longevity and durability.
So it makes it essentially waterproof. Waterproof
and smudge-proof,
exactly. So that explains why it's a little bit more expensive compared to the HP bundle. So this one is $450, where this one is only $350.
Yeah, good point. Now, why don't you give me one of your inkjet?
Okay.
Now, this is what I wanted to show you. If you want to give me one of your inkjet pictures, I'm going to show you what happens if you accidentally spill coffee on it. Which, let's face it, it happens. You've got photos at your desk, and you throw down your... Okay, so this is an inkjet photo here.
Do you want me to hold it?
No, it's okay. Yeah, I'm going to pour some coffee on the photo. Whoops, sorry, I'm right on your face there, Amber. I'm sorry about that. Let me wipe it off for you.
Thanks
now, the problem is I just smudged your picture there. If you can see, I've just smudged it. Not to mention, if you look at the coffee in the bowl here, it also has color ink running off of the print. So this is one of the downsides to the technology. Actually, you can see my face actually more brown. Hey, look, I got a tan now because I got some coffee on there, and I did try to wipe it off. Now, if we do the same thing with the dye sub print, you'll see that the coffee will just roll right off of it.
Exactly, so this is the Kodak print.
Right.
So.
And these are perforated edges, so it is a 4x6. You just rip off the edges. So let me pour it on there.
Seems wrong that we're pouring coffee on these photos.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. It's
but we have
it's
more.
a whole G&G team. But don't be too sad here, because look at that. Not one bit of coffee left on there, and I wiped it. So no smudges, no running of the color. And that's one of the advantages of dye subs.
So it's, for a little bit more money, this bundle for $450, you can see why, because obviously the prints last a little bit longer.
And it's a decent camera, too.
Yeah, it's a decent camera as well. So, and then, to finish up the HP bundle, one thing I really like about the HP bundle is that it's very compact and has a little handle as well, and it runs off batteries as well. So it's $350, and it's a sleek little printer. As you can see, they've done it, it seems like they've kind of followed Apple a little bit with some of their designs. So it's a very nice little printer for only $350 with a 5-megapixel camera. So
and you said that one can do more than 4x6s also?
Yes, this is another thing that can do panoramics, and it can do other sizes as well. So this is different than the rest of the printers. So for $350, if you want an all-in-one, this is a great idea. If you have a little bit more money, then maybe you want to go the way of Kodak. And as you can see, this probably took 30 seconds to print off the Epson. This is a picture of Matt that we were talking about, and the quality is really, really good.
Yeah, that looks really good.
So really good. So $250 for the Epson printer is a pretty good price, and that was one of my favorites because it prints right off the USB key. You just plug it in the back, and it's really, really easy, and we've been using it around the office for the past week or so.
Awesome. Thanks, Amber. Now, once again, we'd like to invite one of our staff members to share their favorite picks. This is a common segment on this show, and guess who it is? It's Amber again. So today we're going to hear not what's on Amber's mind, but what's playing in her ears. All right, my co-host Amber MacArthur is here with your favorite audio download. So what is it?
So instead of choosing a song, I've actually chosen a podcast. And for people who don't know what podcasts are, they're basically an online radio show that you can download for free. There's also vidcast, so it's video you can download. And in iTunes 4.9, which is a music player that works on Windows and Macs and Linux, you can actually go into a podcast directory that's in the music store, and you can sort through literally thousands of podcasts that are available for free. So my favorite is iTunes New Music Tuesday.
Yeah, I got it right here.
You got it right there.
So you subscribe to this. You're saying, like, okay, I want to hear what...
Hi, I'm Val Cole, and welcome to Shaw Connects. When it comes to entertainment, most of us want better selection and greater value. Well, if you're a Shaw Digital customer, you can enjoy both. Shaw Digital customers now have the flexibility of choosing from over 30 different digital channels. It's just one of the many things we're doing at Shaw to give you, the customer, choice. There are all kinds of channels to choose from. If you're passionate about travel and you like exploring exotic places around the world, you'll really enjoy CTV Travel and Discovery Civilization. CTV Travel is your complete destination travel channel, Whether you're planning a family trip, a relaxing tropical getaway, or an exhilarating adventure trip with friends, CTV Travel has tips for everyone. Or you could step back in time with Discovery's Civilization Channel to explore the demise of ancient civilizations and find out what goes on in some of the oldest and stylish cities around the world. The great thing about our digital lineup is you can select the channels that go into our 2-pack, 5-pack, or 10-pack. The more channels you buy, the more you save. To view a complete list of all the digital specialty channels, log on to shaw.ca. You'll find a complete list, plus links to all of the digital channels. If you're interested in any of our digital channels, or you'd like to find out more about Shaw's entertainment bundles, call us today or visit us online at shaw.ca. And if you have a general question, feel free to email us at shawconnects@sjrb.ca.
It's finally here, the 2006 FIFA World Cup from Germany. There is nothing like it, and this year you won't miss a moment of the action.
As Rogers Sportsnet, TSN, and CTV have teamed together to bring you the most extensive coverage ever of the biggest sporting event of the year.
From the opening match right through to the final, you'll witness all the excitement from this year's World Cup. Rogers Sportsnet, TSN, and CTV have joined together to bring you unprecedented coverage, including all 64 matches live. And every game is available in fantastic high definition and 5.1 surround sound.
History will be made, legends will be born. For the anxious fans who have been waiting 4 years, a world champion will be decided July 9th when the final is broadcast live on CTV.
There really is nothing like it. The World Cup is a true global sports phenomenon. And the passion of the athletes, the passion of the fans make the World Cup one of the most exciting and grandest tournaments in history. And watching the picture-perfect clarity of high definition is another reason why this year, more than ever, it's called the beautiful game.
If you can't catch the games live, you don't need to worry. Throughout the tournament, there'll be primetime replays in the evenings on TSN and Rogers Sportsnet. For complete schedule information, including live games and replays, visit either sportsnet.ca or tsn.ca.
So if you're watching this, you're probably missing out on a great match right now.
The 2006 FIFA World Cup from Germany continues on Rogers Sportsnet, TSN, and CTV.
64 games, live and in high definition, from the greatest tournament on earth.
But to get in the ring, it's just tough. I would not want to be in the ring across from her.
I am a dangerous woman because I can kick your ass.
Mia St. John might have a mean right hook, but I bet if she hits you, you'll go down smiling. And she isn't the only lethal lady on the list wearing a sports bra. At number 16, it's dangerous player Mia Hamm, an Olympic soccer star who you can ogle and your younger sister can admire. Before we forget, number 15 is the one woman who brought you into this world, your mom. Remember this, if it wasn't for her, you wouldn't be sitting here watching Filter. Dangerous woman number 14's nickname says it all. She's sexy. She knows just what to do with a pool cue. And they call her the Black Widow.
T-14 and counting. Known for her black clothes and fierce concentration, Jeanette Lee has been devouring female and male opponents in professional pool since 1993.
That is just sexy. A woman that can play pool is really sexy.
I think there's something hot about any woman that could kick your ass at anything.
It's a lot of fun. Clarity of high definition is another reason why this year, more than ever, it's called the beautiful game.
If you can't catch the games live, you don't need to worry. Throughout the tournament, there'll be primetime replays in the evenings on TSN and Rogers Sportsnet. For complete schedule information, including live games and replays, visit either sportsnet.ca or tsn.ca.
So if you're watching this, you're probably missing out on a great match right now.
The 2006 FIFA World Cup from Germany continues on Rogers Sportsnet, TSN, and CTV.
64 games, live and in high definition, from the greatest tournament on earth.
He's going to show you how you can make realistic patterns, textures, like wood and metal and glass in Flash. And that can make a big difference in the realism of your Flash animation. It can also be used kind of for a little irony, you know, so that it's got a little humor. So we'll talk about that a little later on. It's going to be a good show today.
It's going to be great.
But we always kick off with a call, and I think we've got one on the line right now.
We do. We have Tracy from Oromocto, New Brunswick.
Oromocto? Hello, Tracy.
Hi.
How are you? Say hello to Amber MacArthur.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
And on camera number one, Mr. Basil Cowart, who has his own fan site, I understand now. What can I do for you, Tracy?
I was wondering, is there a way to put my MSN contacts and my Yahoo contacts on Firefox?
MSN and Yahoo contacts, do you mean your address book or your chat contacts, your buddy lists? What exactly?
My chat contacts.
Your kind of your buddy list.
Yeah.
So you use Yahoo and MSN chat.
Yes.
Okay. You know, you'd think, I mean, Firefox is so great in this respect. In fact, if we go to Tools and Extensions, that's where it would be. Firefox is a browser that has a very easy to extend user interface, and there are hundreds of extensions. If I go to the extensions, these are the ones that we've got installed, not very many, but right down here on the lower right of that extensions window, Get More Extensions. This takes you to a Firefox website where there are hundreds of extensions, but I have to say I don't think there's one that like you're asking for, which would allow you to see who so then you could click on their name and chat with them, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Instead of going to the chat interface, you want to have it, you live in your browser, of course you do.
Yes.
Well, you can see there's a lot of different things, but Amber, do you know of something that could help Tracy out here?
Yeah, I was going to mention a service called GUI, which is really chat programs. GUI will work with Yahoo Messenger, AIM, MSN Messenger, ICQ. So what you can do is you can really do chatting within the browser, and it's something that they've launched recently, and it's pretty good. It works pretty well. So you can easily sign up. It's completely free, and that will allow you to, again, just stay in the browser, do your chatting, and you can open up other tabs and go to other sites still while, you know, chats are either going on, or you can go back and join them, and it will still exist within the browser.
Cool. Can you show us that?
Yeah, sure can.
G-O-O-W-Y, Tracy. G-O-O-W-Y.
Okay, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah. And that's kind of neat, because GUI is more than that. It's like a calendar and to-do list.
It's a calendar. There's games. There's a bunch of other things in GUI that, you know, make it a really, really fun site to use. It works really, really well. And they should be around for a while because they just got some money from Mark Cuban, which is usually a good sign. And he started broadcast.com. But if we take a look at the site, I think you have it up there, Leo, as well. I have a demo account up here.
Show Amber's screen if you can, not my screen. I'm trying to log in.
If we take a look at my screen, so this is the little chat window that you would have. So what you could do is you could sign in with your different names from your different chat clients, and then you could do all of your chatting in this little window that you can move around all over the site, and you can change your status, you can add people really easily. It works a lot like other chat programs, but again, you could do multi-client chat within the browser.
It sounds like exactly what you're looking for. Does that seem like it would work for you, Tracy?
Yeah, I think it will.
I mean, it would be nice if you could have in Firefox kind of have a bar over here on the right with all your things. But in a way, that's no different than what you've already got with MSN's own buddy list. This way, you have a kind of a whole homepage that has all that stuff.
I wanted to kind of like an MSN page type thing.
Right, this is exactly what it would
be.
be.
Browser?
Yeah, and the nice thing is it wouldn't just be MSN.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you can have email with GUI. You can have a bunch of other services with GUI. You really need to check it out because there's I think they have about 8 different services that they offer aside from just IM. So there's lots of other things, and it's almost like having your own personalized homepage, your own personalized email, chat, everything integrated into one web-based application.
It's one of these new Web 2.0 things where the application isn't on your computer; it's on the internet. What's nice too about that is you can use a computer at work or somewhere else, and your GUI page is exactly the same there.
So as soon as you get on any computer, you really just log into your GUI account and you can do
All your
everything
chat
in
friends
there.
are
So chatting, email, all of that stuff.
When you chat, when you click on a chat, does GUI have its own chat client, or does it launch MSN?
No, what it's done is they've actually built their own chat client.
Oh, so you don't even have to install any software.
Oh, no, you don't have to install it. You just, all you need is your username and password for any of the chat applications that you're using. You add them all really easily to GUI on the IM interface, and then anyone who you've already added to your other accounts outside of GUI will automatically show up there. So it's all integrated quite nicely.
Sounds like we found something for you. Does that seem like it'll do the job, Tracy?
Yeah, I'm going to try it.
Give it a shot. We pronounce it GUI, but it really looks like GUI. Well, I guess GOOWY. I want to say GOWY, but GOOWY.
Okay.
GUI.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Trace. Hey, thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you.
And keep listening, keep watching.
Okay, thanks.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Are you looking to take those flat, boring Flash designs and add some texture to your creation? Our Flash dude, Mr. Mike Hogue, creator of JinxTheBlackCat.com, is here to show us how it's done. You stay right here.
Rated E to D. 5 more minutes.
Yeah, come on.
Oh!
I own you.
Tired of your day job? Wish there was a better way to make a living? Now you can train from home to work in the exciting video game industry. Sign up for our Game Art and Illustration program today and receive a computer, software, books, and toll-free support. Call CDED today or visit their website and apply online.
Technology is supposed to make your life easier, but when it doesn't, call for help.
This is the show where we teach you how to use it to change your life, to change the world around you.
Let Leo and the gang show you how easy it can be.
I know what it's doing, and I know how to fix it.
They'll give you the inside scoop on all that's latest and greatest.
It allows you to manage all of your invoicing online.
Software, hardware, is there anything they can't do?
Go!
Putting the support back in tech. Call for help. Brought to you by Next Tech.
If you really want to bring Flash animation to life, then the more detail you can add to it, the more realistic it's going to look. It's not just by taking a simple design and giving it more depth by changing a few things can produce really surprisingly wonderful results. Here with an example, our Flash master, Mike Hogue, who is, of course, the creator of JinxTheBlackCat.com, which is about as good a site as you could find to really explain and show what you can do with Flash if you really know what you're doing. Do you use textures on Jinx?
Actually, with Jinx, I don't use a lot. I tried to keep that site very simple, but what I've done with, well, there are examples on the site, and actually I'll be able to show you some in this tutorial, where I like the old black and white feel, and I like a lot of the classic design furniture.
Tinted by powdery...
Time. Friendly faces everywhere, humble folks without temptation. Going down south, but gonna leave my woe behind. And we're parking on that, people shouting, howdy neighbor. Heading on up south, but gonna see if I can't unwind. Come on down south, but then meet some friends of mine.
At last, Professor Mofuni, you have perfected the process of shrinking electronic devices so we can sell them to Americans for lots of money. Yes, Shimura. Now I say to you, miniaturization will be very big. Ha ha ha!
Ha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Flash! Rumored sightings of the legendary prehistoric monster, Godzilla, caused thousands to flee for their lives in northern Japan.
Yes? Yes. Very well. That was the Emperor. He wants your scientific opinion on Godzilla. Godzilla! Come, there is no time to lose.
North Brain, let us go and see Godzilla. We can watch excitedly as he crashes buildings and then flee in terror.
Snap out of it, Pinky.
Oh, thanks, Brain.
This scientific equipment will be invaluable for my plan to take over the world.
You mean you're going to shrink electronics so only mice will be able to operate them?
Don't be absurd, Pinky. There's no future in miniaturization. It's big things that strike fear into the hearts of humans. Like that ridiculous legend of Godzilla. Mythical folly that directionless humans hang on. Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Brain. But I don't think Kay Ballard's in the Union.
I will alter this equipment and enlarge myself to become a 400-foot-tall mouse who'll save the world from Godzilla.
But you just said there was no such thing as Godzilla, Brain.
There is now, Pinky. Or should I say, Pinkzilla. Yes, I see.
Sometimes you think, Brain? Pretty scary, eh?
Yes, Pinky. Terrifying. Stand by.
Nav! Where are you, Brain? I can't see you!
I'm down.
Oh, wait a sec, Brain. I've got some gum on my shoe.
Apparently your IQ didn't grow along with your shoe size, Pinky. Now, go on your rampage, Pinkzilla, and show no mercy.
Point! I am Pinkzilla, king of the monsters!
Just 10 minutes, I will arrive on the scene and save Tokyo from the terror of Pinkzilla. Yes, I see.
I love you, Fumiko.
And I love you, Herschel.
Godzilla! Hello! I'm on a rampage! Now, scamper